apologies for being late.
That's okay. Late? Hold on, let me turn off music that we'll get sued for. I love Adamant, but we don't own the rights to that. What do you got? What's your shirt say? Uh-oh. We're having all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. Hopefully Ron and Guy will make it. We're lucky enough later to be joined by Ed Miller. Oh no. Are you there? Rob? Oh, there you are.
You're all there?
All right. Episode 38 is off to a roaring good start. 100% pure barf, folks. Like and subscribe. Oops. Hopefully Ron and Guy will join us later. Chris is working tonight, and later Ed will join us. Been trying to get him on the show forever. He plays a lot of video games with me. He's played D&D with us. He's a ceramics artist and a Vietnam vet, and all around. He does a bunch of stuff, like the rest of us. So, yeah. Oh, hello and welcome to the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. My name is Bill Kelly, Hornswoggle the Great, and so far with me I have, because we don't know who's going to join us.
Bob the Blacksmith, and the last 48 hours, I've also been the unofficial Jeep Grand Cherokee technician.
Yeah, there you go. You did a good job. The videos were great. Thank you for sharing them. Appreciate it.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah.
Tonight I had to replace the hood struts and the rear glass struts. That's like 2 minutes, and it wasn't. It would have taken me longer to try and get the camera out and try and record it.
No worries. Today's really weird. Real quick, and damn it, it's always the way. I've got tons of Star Wars shirts. I have one Star Trek shirt, and I absolutely love Star Trek. I've seen them all, the first original series. The writers of Futurama were prolific in their craftsmanship of scripts, and Fry really said it best, because today on, it's September 8th, 2025, it is Star Trek Day, Actors Day, National Ampersand Day, totally behind that, World Physical Therapy Day. Oh my God, if I could afford a deep tissue therapist, my shoulders are killing me. And National Iguana Awareness Day. I love them. I've owned many. Can't own them now. I got cats. But, yeah. Fry said it best in Futurama with the original Star Trek. About 80 episodes, around 30 good ones, which is kind of very... It's not that the other 50 are bad. It's just, it's brand new science fiction. Hurry up and write it for next week's episode. Shit. Give me some ideas. Hostile aliens. Okay. Klingon, Romulan, unknown. Because that's pretty much it. And then they get to the Next Generation, which I was an absolute huge fan of. At first I was mad, and then I embraced it once I heard, Patrick Stewart was going to be involved. And what? They're not going to have another McCoy? She's a super hot redhead. Glued to the screen. A Klingon officer? Glued to the screen. Deep Throat 9 We got to give that one to Donnie because he was the first one that told me that, and I still am laughing about that 35 years later. Oh my God, that's hysterical. It was the great hurry up and wait. Any moment now, there's going to be a great war between the Kardashians and the Federation. Next week. Next week. Next. Oh, God. Other than that, Deep Space Nine is a good plot setup. It should be a great, great actors, great carryovers from the other season. Voyager. The problem with Deep Space Nine and Voyager is, like a lot of movies from like a lot of shows from 1986 on. Did you see it? Oh, I heard about it, but I was at work. You didn't see an episode? I was at work. You didn't tape an episode or no, dude, it wasn't that important that I see a show that I've never seen before, And that's where people. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was just going to say DS9 was Cheers with more heart and less comedy. That was the problem with Deep Space Nine, was the fact that the whole genre of Star Trek from the beginning was that it took place in space, but you were always in transit from or to. So there was always something that happened. It was a traveling genre.
It was a wagon train.
Exactly. It was the late 60s into the early 70s interpretation of the old cowboy western. Took place in a town, but you had to get to the town. Something had to happen. DS9 was more like Gunsmoke. Took place in the town.
Ooh,
that was it. So all of the other Star Treks were more like have gun will travel. Character moving from place to place.
Yeah.
Interjecting themselves into an event or a situation, or learning something new, or presenting a new education to those in need. Oh. That was the brilliance of Star Trek. DS9 should have been a component of the others, and it was to a certain extent, but it should have remained a component to the others. I would have brought it in to every one of the other next generation versions.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes, where are you going? We're going to Deep Space Nine. Or we're leaving Deep Space Nine. Or I'm meeting, Captain Sisko is there with the Defiant.
Yeah.
And I have to meet him for an adventure.
Oh, man. You know what? You're totally right, because Deep Space Nine would be an awesome, like, Tales of the Floating Vagabond. Like, all about it and all of the main character. Like, I agree. It's not to, the cast is all star. The guy, I'm sorry, I was going to.
Rene Abidjan was one of my favorite actors in the program, and his character, the way he played the character of Odo, I thought was an exceptional and a standout character and actor's role.
He was great. My first introduction to him is from Benson. And I was really young when I watched the show, and I didn't really understand what was going on. But it was obvious from watching any random episode that Benson is the protagonist. And I can't remember what his name on the show was. But he was, not that he was the bad guy, but he was definitely the antagonist, where he was more of a bureaucrat, where Benson was more of a kind of in the middle. He represented the common sense American. Sorry if you've never seen the show. It was in the 80s, the early 80s. And that was... go ahead. And he was great in The Patriot. I wanted to say that real quick, because he plays the... the parson.
I agree with you. I remember him very, very powerfully from Benson. But I also remember him from MASH.
Yes. Okay, no, MASH is my first introduction to him then. Sorry. So, but again, they're happening at the same time. This doesn't MASH stop in 82?
MASH was earlier than... the motion picture was in the early 70s. The television program began in the mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
Benson came along right as that was as MASH had picked itself up. So Benson came along after what
MASH.
was it? After Soap, because that was where Benson came from.
Yeah.
Benson was a character from Soap.
From Soap. I never even thought about it that way. Because Soap is good because of its satire of the satire. Because soap operas are satires of the, Harlequin romance novels, the daytime ridiculous. There's two things, well, there's many things that should never go away in our society. Some of them I absolutely hate, but I don't want to get rid of them. Like Superman, Captain America, I hate them, but they should stay. I don't ever want to get rid of them. I understand that now. Soap operas and professional wrestling are two more in that, but they should never go away category. Though I do enjoy wrestling. It is fun. And it's acting. It's acting, acrobatics, gymnastics, martial arts. It's all those things. And soap operas are that same way. And to have in the early 80s them do a nighttime show about a daytime genre that has existed since, I'm going to be bold, 1953? Did I lose you? Hello! I'm losing your transmission! Rob? My crazy soapboxing rant locked up his internet. There you are. Yeah. How much of that did you get? Do we want me to start over?
It was the U.S. Well, like you had said that the soap operas had begun in the 50s. They were some of the first television programs that were put forward in a continuous serialized dramatic format, and they were meant to be stylized dramas that could draw in. Quite frankly, they were intended to draw in the housewife. The housewife was the one that they were targeting, and the people who developed those understood the idea that if the housewife can be drawn into something, then I can present the housewife with things like latex glove, Dawn dish soap,
ooh, yeah, Palmolive,
soap flakes, and
coffee,
all these other things. And they are the ones who are, in many cases, making the purchasing decision for the day-to-day, everyday bread and butter item of the household. So that became part of the standard. Star Trek was actually an interesting breach from that, in that it started to draw in, it started to take up what things like Rawhide, Bonanza, and Have Gun Will Travel, and all of those westerns were intended to be that version for the male population. So now I draw in the male population.
How are we going to get the women?
Exactly. The westerns were falling out of favor a little bit. They were not as big a draw. Science fiction had taken over. In the early 60s, science fiction had begun to really get its feet under. You had some great standouts in the 40s and the 50s, but those were few and far between. Many of them were more campy. Many of them were B-roll film.
I would say that Doctor Who in 63 pushed everything forward and allowed for the Twilight Zone. Because remember, Shatner's on the Twilight Zone with, there's a man on the wing of this plane. I just reposted the joke with him, and I love Third Rock from the Sun. It's such an absolutely brilliant show. I was traveling here, but there was a man on the wing of the plane. And then John Lithgow says, the same thing happened to me.
Yep. Well, and that was interesting because Doctor Who was in England. And there was very little crossover between English television, the BBC, and the big three, NBC, CBS, and ABC. You didn't have overt crossover.
And not at first.
In the 50s and 60s. It was not something that was done. because the comedy didn't necessarily translate as well.
No, I would say
They didn't learn how to do so
I would
until later on.
Yeah, I would say from the late 60s on, because, okay, there's American comedy and there's dry British comedy. But the problem is that you've got people like me that exist that are English on both sides, and both sides are into English humor. We don't even talk to each other really except once or twice a month, but we're sharing the same songs, the same Monty Python stuff, the same Benny Hill, Two Ronnies. It's there's a, you may not be genetically drawn to it, but there's plenty of people that are not in the culture that really have an epiphany for, or a wrong word, have a strong liking for.
Remember now, all of those programs. So the original players, and I can't remember the name that they called themselves by when they had Artie Feldman and the rest of those guys in the group before Python took off.
Oh yeah,
but
where Mr. Pest was created.
Right, Python and then Benny Hill were between 8 and 12 years in the can before they got picked up in the United States. So it took time for them to carry over. They became drop dead fan favorites across the environment, but it took that time. Benny Hill and Python started to get a pickup because it was part of what the Public Broadcasting Corporation and the local affiliates were being positioned with, so that they could also pick up other BBC. So they could pick up the serious BBC program. So they were given, serious. Okay, we want you to have these. We would like you to take these as well. And that became the package, and they could roll into the PBS programming in the different areas. Now, the areas that picked up much of it was in the Northeast and the West Coast. So up in the Northeast, in Maine and those areas, New York, areas where it was a little more open to that kind of thing. These are also the same areas that picked up Romper Room, the Electric Company, Sesame Street, with little fanfare. It became a program that was very popular. They were very much sought after on the public broadcasting circuit.
Yeah.
So all of these things played in well. It took a decade for those things, in some cases, to break into mid-America, and particularly south of the southern states in the United States, when it became, we can accept it now. So it was the later 70s before some of those.
Uh-oh. You froze. The later 70s. The later 70s were a good time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Star Trek was another one that took time to get picked up in certain areas.
Yes. It was not always. You froze again. You're having internet issues again tonight. We will find your internet provider and beat him viciously. Oh, wait, no, it's cocked, so I can't do that. I need that too. There must be another solution besides violence. Violence? No, not violence. Still violence. No, not violence. We'll try it Victorian seance style. Are you with us, spirit? Can you hear us out there in the beyond? Does the ether distort my voice? Knock once. Hello? Was there knocking? Squidget, did you hear the knocking? There was knocking. Wasn't there knocking? For sure there was knocking. Why not? Was there knocking? There was knocking. Rob? Raw. Oh no! Oh, he left the group. Player 2 has exited the game. Technology. This is what happened in the Westworld movie. I haven't seen the show. It was just Richard Benjamin at the end trying to get away from Yul Brynner. Diddlin, diddlin, diddlin. This is how Westworld ended. Just Richard Benjamin at the end trying to get away from Yul Brynner. Diddly, 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 diddly.
I'm on the cell phone. I don't know why the internet is acting up so bad today.
Yeah.
New modem and router from Cox Communications, and they're living up to their names.
Cox in your house to make your husband feel inadequate, ladies. Cox, because we're screwing you right in your living room. Okay, Cox. Do you want to get phone? No, I have Ting. And up until recently, Ting has been fucking awesome. But lately, they're kind of charging me more. I have to renegotiate my reality. Other than that, they were great. They're a subsidiary of Sprint. But I don't use my phone very much, and I don't have the internet on it. So, uh-oh. You still there? Full moon. It's been a full moon. We've had a whole lot of technical issues. Well, hi, Squidget. Thank you for forcing me to pet you. Appreciate it. Okay, there you are. Go. So
Alrighty.
the videos were awesome. Does it run now? You can drive it down the street, the Jeep?
Oh, yeah. It runs and drives and does all the things it's supposed to do in between.
It does the things. Yeah, I have to restart my system before we do this because otherwise OBS will hemorrhage or Twitch will have an issue or Discord will crash or yeah. Come on, the pick. I need a new everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you did a great job. I enjoyed watching the videos. Thanks for the shout out in the beginning.
I looked at them and I could see you can see my elbow beautifully through much of it.
It's all right. How many of these videos have you made?
Yeah. These would make probably 5, 6, and 7 in the series.
In the series. I've made over 1,000 and I still screw them up. I had to take 30 some down for Tapatio Cliffs because they were all mad at me and they wanted to fire me for, hey, I'm sorry, you've got a haunted fucking resort here. People are going to want to see these videos. You can't have them up. They're not negative. They're positive. I never said anything negative about the place once.
Yeah, they're well, it doesn't matter.
No,
they have gone their way.
Yeah, not anymore. It was like, oh, hey, Stella. On Facebook, it's a, hey, Cthulhu 2024.
That's right. Vote Cthulhu. And now I'm going to champion Cthulhu for the midterms.
Oh, no.
Why choose the lesser of two evils, right? I'm going for it.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's more fun that way. Every election, I'll break out the Cthulhu shirt.
Yeah, you go Cthulhu, and I've got my poster up already. The Joker, or he'll kill me. Cthulhu, and he'll kill you. Joker, or he'll kill you. Fuck.
That's right. Just remember, there is no winning.
Yeah.
It's always losing.
Yeah. This is like being a Christian. Go to hell and be burned for eternity with all the other sinners. Go to heaven and stay with all the asshole Christians that think they're better than everybody.
Could I have another choice, please?
But purgatory, what happens there? You wander around forever all alone.
So it's just like this. Okay.
Oh, that's terrible. That I should never, ever go there. Ever, never, ever, never. I can leave now. All alone, forever, for eternity. Nobody's going to ask me to do anything, pick something up, or take something off the top shelf.
Great. I mean, I don't have to deal with all this horse shit anymore. Where do I sign up?
Like when Christine and I were having a goofy argument long ago. I was like, if you keep pissing me off, I'm going to put the TV remote on top of the fridge where you can't reach it.
Okay, remember, I have all of the network passwords.
No, she has all the networks. Not anymore, but, well, she's, but it was funny. I'm only 5'10", but I can still put it far enough on top of the refrigerator that you can't You're 5'3", you're never going to make it.
Right. And I'm going to hang all of the ladders up high.
Yeah, I'm going to put everything up high. I get hooks and take my drill.
Right, all of my step stools are in the shop, and they're hung up high.
The keys to your car are here, where midgets can reach them. Up there are the keys to my vehicle. That didn't happen.
That's right.
I was stupid enough to, equal. Yeah, we'll be equal. Anyway, so it probably took you 2 days to do that? All that? No, it's taken more than that.
No, to do all of the wiring repairs, the total time is probably less than 6 hours, but it's been a little bit at a time during the heat. So I probably put another hour and a half into relooming everything up, cleaning that up. So now the wiring is put back where I want it to be. So it's not exposed. It's not going to be damaged under the...
Uh-oh. Rob? Do you hear me? Do you care?
There.
Ah, there you are. How are you not sweating your ass off in the garage? It's like 900 degrees outside. Ah, you cheating bastard. Good idea. Oh, what's the cigar of today?
I have 2 of those units, by the way. I'm not stupid.
No.
This one is the Columbus 1492 white label. And this is from Brother Charlie, who has the store in Austin. I actually got a call from him today. He's got a new line coming. His farmer down in the Dominican made a trade with another farmer for some Cuban leaf. So they've traded a bit of
a
leaf.
Hybrid.
He's got some Cuban Cohiba leaf,
Cuban man.
So Charlie's got a 5th line. Right now there's 4 lines in this cigar. So there's the white label, the blue label, the yellow label, and the red label. The next one is the orange label. He said they should be getting boxed and shipped within the next couple of months. So they've had time to age down in the Dominican Republic. And he will be getting them shipped, and he will be putting them out there. And it was really cool. He sold out almost completely out of all the white label.
Really?
Which is probably in my opinion, the white label is probably the smoothest of the 4 right now. It's kind of a medium, very smooth, very even draw, and it doesn't change. It's a consistent cigar throughout the entire cigar. Some cigars have a different flavor when you start from when you end. This one is a nice, consistent blend, a wonderful stick.
Yeah.
But all of Charlie's are premium. They're small batch. They're done in his rolling house down there. And so he has control over everything that goes into each of his blends, which is
Very
nice.
nice. It's good to have a hand and a say, you know, even if you're not down there in the trenches doing the work.
Yeah. He goes down quite regularly.
Yeah.
And he keeps threatening to take me with him. It's like, Charlie, if I could afford to go, I would.
Yeah.
Believe me.
It's like, was Paul on you to, let's go to Japan? Are you out of your mind? I can't just go to Japan. I don't have any.
Yeah, I wish
Donnie
I could.
and Jason
go to
and I
Japan.
are going. Have fun. Take lots of pictures. I can't, dude.
You know what's funny is we could live in Japan for about a quarter to a third of what we pay to live here. It's a completely different world in Japan.
Yeah.
And for foreigners like ourselves, it would be a little more difficult.
Barbarians.
But you can get a decent apartment in Japan in a nice area. I mean, you're not going to live in downtown Tokyo, but I wouldn't want to live in downtown Tokyo anyways.
Fuck no.
You can live in the suburbs.
It's beautiful, but I don't want to live in that much.
Well, and you can visit. That's the nice thing about it.
It's a train.
You can jump on a train.
Train right away. Otherwise, I don't want to. When I was young, I wanted to live in the city. Now that I'm over 50, I just want to disappear on like 20 acres and never be heard from again.
I could not live. I couldn't live in a city. My uncles, my aunts, my grandmother all lived in San Francisco, and they all had houses for the most part in San Francisco, but they were 3-story walk-ups with a garage. And literally, their 3-story walk-up wasn't much wider than my garage.
Yeah.
But it went deeper. But of course, and there was enough room in the garage to store shit and park one car. I would never survive that.
City kids want to move out to the country, and country kids want to be in the city. It's human nature to be frustrated with where you're at and to see someone else and to be like, oh, they must have all the answers. They must have. No, dude, it's a mirror. He's wishing you were him. You're wishing you.
Yep, it's the old story, country mouse, city mouse. But
yes,
I was fortunate enough that I got to grow up in both places. And I always had a wonderful affinity for being up at the ranch. It was great. But for me, the nice thing about it was I could go up there, and we did everything we had to do during the weeks. As a kid growing up, going to school, you're doing all of those things. But Friday came, Grandpa said ranch, and the dog was beating me out to the truck.
Oh my God, yes! Away from the city.
Yeah. And we would go up to the ranch for the weekend, and I would work my tail off, and then we would come back late Sunday night, and you'd start the week over again. He worked for the state comp fund. So he worked downtown, did all of that stuff, and every Friday, got to go up to the ranch. Don't have to tell me twice.
No, this I don't. You had a lot of fun this weekend, but yeah, I helped them move, and then the next day I went up to the ranch, and so they were trying to close the doors, and the wind picked up, and those big tires off of like a Diamond T dually, the big, what are they, like 24? They're called Widow. They're not the Widowmakers, but they look close to them.
Yeah, most of the big trucks are 20s, 22s, 24s.
They're huge, they're old, they're heavy. I have several videos of them. She tripped over those, got knocked down, and that door went right over her heel. So even out there, she was ambulatory for a while, and helped me for a little bit. And I keep Judy, stop, just talk to me, don't you know? And then we talked for a while, and then I moved a bunch of stuff because what was it today or yesterday was Pete's birthday. Happy birthday, Pete. And then he was in Kansas, and the transmission went out on this big black Chevy truck.
Oh,
So he had to disconnect it from the gooseneck and leave the gooseneck there on the guy's property. And there's two of the dually 3100 Chevys. They're both green, the old factory green. Oh, they're beautiful. I love her. Love both of those girls. And Too Tall came from, he came and picked him up, and he's driving him back to Arizona. So it's like, but I think from the first day, or probably the second day, I hung out with Too Tall, and we all worked together. He's been saying, you know, there's 3 diamond tees out on the ranch. The 2 over by the solar panels and the gate, the big dually, and the 100 that's in a million pieces. And then there's another one, and Too Tall and Pete put a frame on it, like a new frame, and then just put the. If Pete doesn't do something, I'm gonna, you know, negotiate. He's been talking for over 2 years that Pete needs to do something with this truck. And yeah, dude, and several times, let's work on it. Nah, I got other stuff going on. What are you gonna do? I'm gonna put an LS in it. Let's go. Come on. I'll set my phone up with it. Nah, I'm doing other projects. So he's finally like, okay, I'll let you take the truck. Meanwhile, Pete, who's a die-hard in-the-wool Chevy guy, Too Tall likes to send here, show these pictures to Pete. I'm working on a real truck today, and it's like a 64 or I think it's a 54 Ford. Tell him I'm working on a real truck. Okay, I'll get there. Too Tall told me to. So yeah. So luckily,
that's like.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that's like I used to get to work. A lot of the ranch trucks, the different ranchers had old Fords, so they'd have late '60s, you know, mid to late '60s, early '70s industrial Fords. So F500s, F600s, and they would have the commercial FE motors in. So these were, you know, they started out at like 351 inches, all the way up to, I want to say they had one that was like almost 500 cubic inches. And these were just great big V8s, but they were industrial motors. Yeah. So they didn't spin high RPMs. What they did was they were used on either over-the-road trucks with different gearing, or they were the ones in the fire trucks, because you could spin them up, and they would gain speed fast enough to work in the city with the right gearing. So you put an 8-speed transmission into a fire truck with low gears, and you could get a fire truck to go 55 miles an hour down 51st Avenue if you had to, because that was what you did. But it didn't have to go faster than that to get in town. You weren't putting it on the highway.
No, you were just, you know, point A to point B.
And those motors were really cool because they were great. Then you could talk to the Chevy guys. You go, what you got in that C30 that you got over there? Oh, you got a 454? Yeah, you want to come take a look at a real motor? You're showing that great big goddamn lump of iron sitting underneath the F600. Yeah. And you go, yeah, that's more cubic inches than yours.
Well, the beauty of the grand argument is it's the same argument as sports, the same argument as playing. What was it? Oh, crap. The kids were. So it had to be. Gabe, who hopefully is watching it. If he is, gotta give him a shout out. And later, Paul, World of Warcraft. Okay, this looks really neat. You have to pay each month to play. Whoa, fuck that. No. Get a job. Christine's working. I'm working. Hey, we can afford $13 and change each month. After, and then because I have one of the biggest DVD collections that most people have anymore, because people are getting rid of their DVDs for some strange reason. They're going to come back just like vinyl did. No, they won't. Okay. So we watched all our movies, after a while, and Burning Crusade came out, and then Wrath of the Lich King comes out. And the reason I say all this, because it's likened to Chevy and Ford and all the football and all the different teams. I would be out at the Renaissance Festival, and I would see people, whether they were in Alliance shirts or whether they were in Horde shirts. And come costume, rent costume for the Horde. Oh, yes. And the Alliance, they would be like personally injured if they had an Alliance. Meanwhile, if the dude had, and I should start, I have a Wizard shirt. We played from Burning Crusade to, we didn't buy, I don't know, maybe Christine did. I didn't. But Mists of Pandaria came out, and we were like, we're paying each month for the kids to play. We're not even really playing this game anymore, and really want, at that time, now the youngest child is going to be 22 this middle of November, so we stopped, and then later Hannah was like, I want all the information. I want to play my characters again. Here you go. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to use it. And then years later, Paul got the sorry, this is going way past Ford and Chevy and Jeep and all that other stuff. But it's the same kind of thing, where if I saw a guy with a Horde shirt out at Renaissance Festival or even at a con, and you just go, for the Horde, and they always, it's like, whoa.
See, I was a bad husband. Now a good ex-husband, I guess. I was a bad husband because
who isn't a bad
my
husband?
ex-wife was and I believe it was Final Fantasy was hers. She enjoyed it. She bought all the games. She loved it. She played it. I had to build her 2 computers, to do bought all the at the time she had dual bridged video cards so she could get the best graphics, and I had to buy her the best graphics monitor and all the rest of that shit. I mean, I built up, and then I pissed her off because I was like, well, this is World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy. So, but where that all came from. She said, don't you say Dungeons and Dragons. I said, it's all from Dungeons and Dragons.
All from Dungeons
No, it's not.
Yes.
I pulled out my Dungeons and Dragons, Series 2, pulled out my book. What's that? Is that an orc? That's an orc. Let me flip through here. So, is that an ogre? That's an ogre.
Yeah.
You want me to tell you the hit points on that ogre? Watch this. What's that armor? Yeah. You want me to tell you what the hit points are on that armor?
Do you want me to explain Revenge of the Nerds to you anymore? Or do you have it now? Nerds 1. Geeks convinced nerds to program so hard that jocks became geeks.
Exactly.
That's what happened to that's what happened to America in the last 45 years.
I had a field day with that. My sons thought it was the funniest thing because they were Final Fantasy. They were hard Final Fantasy. They loved it. They did. Because that was what their mom played. Their mom let them play it.
Yeah.
I showed them Dungeons and Dragons. They're like, this is cool. And then a friend of mine had a gaming store. So I took them down to the gaming store, and I showed them the miniatures and all the figures. Showed them the tabletop gaming and all the rest of that stuff. So then they became converts. And they liked things like Hordes because they could have unit it was unit combat as opposed to individual combat. But then they enjoy Dungeons and Dragons because they could have a character. They could play the character.
Yeah.
So it was fun for them. They enjoyed that aspect of it. Drove their mother crazy.
Yeah.
I was a bad person.
The beauty of tabletop RPGs is that there are no walls. There's no boundaries. The boundaries and the walls are created by the DM. And if you have Ron, me, DM Rob, Cookie, Ray, other DMs that we've named in the past are in the flexible reactionary category. Paul wasn't always like that, but the last game, due to his aneurysm and condition, but he's not the first rule Nazi DM that I have ever encountered, and they're like a mean older brother, and that doesn't, you don't have a good experience with the game if that's the case.
That's why I always liked a DM that was willing. I didn't have a problem with a DM who was going to quote the rules, keep the game moving, and tell you, okay, you can't fire fireball because it has a 40-foot radius. You're in a 10.5-foot room. You can't do that. I have to stop you there. I'm going to warn you about it.
You're going to kill everyone.
Yeah, you're going to kill yourself and everybody with you, so you can't really do that. And that was a kindness. That was somebody saying, let me stop you before you do this because there's no way you're going to come out of this on top. But these were also the same ones that would, I told you about this. I came up with a nuisance NPC that I always thought would just be funny. And there were two of them. One was a ninja, but they didn't attack you and physically beat you. What they did was they attacked you and they tickled you and you became incapacitated. And that was the whole point, was you're in the middle of this dungeon or wherever and suddenly you're attacked and you fall to the floor and you can't stop laughing. The other one was there was an NPC that the DM would call out every so often, and he had basically it was a guy who could do vicious mockery from a distance, and you had to do a saving throw. But what it was he would stand out just out of range of your archers and things like that, and he would scream at the top of his lungs, and he would wave inappropriate signs at you and scream vulgarities at you. Hey,
Steal.
Fuck you! And that was
basically,
that was the idea.
Joe Flaherty's character in Happy Gilmore. Gilmore, you're gonna miss this putt, you jackass.
Exactly, and that was the whole idea. He was just far enough away you couldn't attack him successfully, but you had to do a saving throw. And the whole idea was he would throw this out there to try and draw people a certain direction, because usually you couldn't do enough of a saving throw to not try and run after him.
No.
But he could keep ahead of you. But these were things that the DM, after I kind of came up with it and let them run with how to build it, they use these to move you someplace without putting you in peril. You know what I mean? So I need you to go left. You turn right. So suddenly you're attacked by these ninjas that tickle you and you can't control yourself. And so we're going to go this way because I can't stop these guys.
Oh my God, that's so true. God, the players are wasting too much fucking time in my campaign on some minuscule detail that I made up last session, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the main plot line, but I'm not. Steele is just in the kitchen going, yep, I hear you, buddy. And then they're going to obsess about it for like 2 sessions. And no matter how many times you're like, it's really nothing, they think that it must be something if you're telling me it's really nothing.
Yeah.
The DM lies all the time. Well, yes, I'm the DM. I'm impartial. I have to hinder you as much as I help you. Otherwise, I'm not doing my job.
No.
When you control in a game, when you control the gods and the devils and demons, you kind of have to take, concessions. There has to be some kind of, dude, please. I just got rid of 2 of the females. How come you don't want to cuddle? How come you want to yell? Cats. 100% pure barf. Like and subscribe, remember. We don't have Patreons, but one day we'll have to come up with some stuff in order to do that, huh? But I think that the best DM is the virtuoso player. The best DM is the player that can come into any game and go, who's playing what? What do you need? Oh, well, Jim is playing a ranger, and Bob is a cleric, and Sarah is playing a wizard. Sorry, whoops. I just first editioned myself. Magic user. Oh, so you need a bard, and that's like there's always that character, that human in your group that when you put him in the party, if he's a random toss in, he's probably going to be the most obnoxious character that you've ever had in a campaign. If he's there for the first level build, he's going to end up being the most powerful character in the entire party. And you have to stay 1 or 2 steps ahead of him because he knows all the rules. Because he's usually a DM. Like that was playing Shadowrun against Ray as a party. He's eventually going to become the party leader. He knows the rules better than I do because he's had more time to read them all. And he's always, there's nothing better than a play. Dude, come here. Come here. Yeah, I know. You want to go outside. You can't. There's nothing better than a player that's 1 step ahead of the DM because then the party's going to win. You can't get mad. You can't be upset. You can't take it personally that he's a better chess player than you are. You're just going to take it. You're just going to have to bend over this session, but now you know better, and you're going to make backup plans for the next session.
Or you're going to learn.
Yeah.
You're going to take the time, and this person's going to give you some sage advice, some excellent experience, and help you to grow to become that much better of a player.
Here,
I always appreciated that as I started to learn the value of that. Because, early on, I always wanted to be, I want to be a 30th level magic user so I can snap my fingers and people just turn to dust.
Stop time.
That's not how it works.
No, it's not. You don't have as many spells as you... Oh, you know them all, but you don't have as many at the ready as you think you do. You're not fucking Elminster, Gandalf, Macross the Black,
You still have to go through all the steps to make it happen.
Mithrandir. Yeah. Well, the better player for even an intermediate or an advanced DM is always a fun challenge. They keep you on your toes. They're 1 step ahead of you. They want to get the maximum yield from the game to kind of be like, that's how you do it the next time we play. I'm not going to remember.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember all this
They
shit.
want you to keep.
Yeah.
They want you to keep coming back, and that's the whole idea. That the DM that wants you to be there. It's like, to bring it back to what we were talking about with cars and everything else. The guy that runs the car club that wants you to come back isn't going to tell you you got to have a Chevy between this year and this year. It's got to be in this condition. It's got to have these, unless that's specifically what that group had built their club for.
Yeah.
We're only 1st gen Camaros, and we prefer that your Camaro be at least finished. We would rather it not be in primer. Okay, that's fine. But there had always been groups too that were like, hey, does your car have four wheels on it? Cool. Can it drive under its own power? Sweet.
If you
You want to go
bring,
with us when we go out here? We're going to go to,
yeah,
in the old days, I remember being in car clubs and groups where did we go? It's Friday night. Actually, it's Thursday night. We're going to go to the gay Denny's at 1 o'clock in the morning because we can get the big booth in the back. We can all hang out, and Joey's going to be our waiter, and he takes damn good care of us
yeah.
because we tip
What
him, and they treat us like we're
seven
proper humans.
7th Street and Camelback? Is that still
Yep.
that was the big joke
Not,
in the 80s?
it's not anymore, but that was
No.
the
And then you go there and
that
you're like,
was the
this is just a normal Denny's. What's going on? Like, oh, rumors.
Yep.
They're so stupid.
Well, no, actually, for the longest time,
Yeah.
they had a couple of shifts that were gay men who were working as the waiters, the wait staff, and they were great guys. And the thing about it was,
Yeah, who cares?
so many of us were Ren Fair or SCA, or we went to the midnight movies, or we did all of that stuff together. And so we got to the point we didn't give a shit. These guys were cool. They took care of us, so we took care of them, and we were friendly,
Yeah.
and we did things the right way. We didn't treat anybody in an inferior format. We didn't treat anybody poorly. We didn't allow anybody to come in there and act up because we knew if somebody comes in here and screws this shit up for us, we're not going to have this place anymore, and we don't want that.
And they kind of want us here because we're all big, but we don't cause a ruckus, and we just kind of. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thanks, dude. I'm not security. I have an office job. What are you talking about? But you're big.
Yeah, but 1 o'clock in the morning, we all stand up, and it's like
being
use us.
big, as you know, being larger than the average human isn't a blessing; it's a curse. People want
It
you
can
to
be,
move,
yes.
they want you to move things. You know that there's an area right in front of the shop, but it's off to the side in front of the two Connexes. He took the we don't use jumper cables anymore. You have that little battery pack with the two. He took that with him, so we couldn't get the forklift.
Oh,
So it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. Because Judy's like, I'm terribly sorry. I'm like, no, it's okay. And you help me out, by giving me a little bit of cash, for gas and things are the way they are. And but that sucked because there's that one table made out of the shelving unit stuff that's been cut and welded together. Left side, right side. I had to walk it all the way over to the other. Dude, it's 104. This is terrible.
we need to build you your Will It Run wagon.
I found a battery dolly out there that I think we could modify.
Because then we can build it here, or we could build it out there, but we can build it, put a battery in it, put a gas tank that we can put in it, toolbox with basic tools and all that stuff, so that you can wheel it to wherever you need to. So when you're working on the Ford, when you're working on another square body to pull something apart or get pieces out or whatever, that has all the basics for you, including, in this case, if you'd have a battery. Oh, he took the jump box. Let me go get my Will It Run bag, dolly, and over we go.
Be right back. I am absolutely surprised because the 58, 59, the one I reposted Diamond T videos where the black truck is in it. I think it's a 58.
Yeah.
It might be. It's a 58 or a 59. Doesn't matter. It's all been sold. And I was going to start doing stuff, but I had to move everything. But I'm amazed how I did hey, this is the preview. We're going to be doing this. And everyone, okay, yeah, whatever, like 12 views. And then Pete and Bill and I actually, Bodyman Bill and I actually, like, worked on it. And over 2,100 views. This is good. Because Guy had commented and Joe was right. You're spreading it all over the place. Dude, this is the internet. It doesn't make any sense. We've got a whole bunch of projects going on. All this stuff is happening. Every day's an adventure.
I wish I would have recorded for you. I had to do some maintenance and repair on my gas powered pressure washer. It wouldn't run. Couldn't get it to start. So I put it up here on the big workbench, started tearing down the ignition and the fuel system, the carburetor. The problem is I wouldn't have been able to video it very well without, would have needed you to do the videoing. But Mom showed up that morning.
Oh, okay.
So I had it up on the counter. I had it taken apart. I was cleaning the carburetor. Mom showed up. Had to take care of her, get her things done that she needed.
Yeah.
Came back out, finished cleaning up the carburetor, fired it up, ran like a champ. It's similar to what we did when you and I worked on that gas-powered compressor that he got out of that clean-out deal.
Yeah. Remember, I'm just waiting for you to say the word to go out there with me again, because I know we can get the Diamond T started. If there isn't massive mechanical damage on the inside of the engine, obviously that's.
Yeah.
And I know.
My whole thing. I wish I had some money or something that he would find of value. There's a couple of trucks out there I would love to get my hands on and put back together again. But not going to happen this year.
Huh. Yeah, we're about to go into fall, and you have 4 or 5 really valuable skills that he praises: welding, blacksmithing, motor mechanical ability, engineering. So, well, I made a big point of it. I'm very happy because we don't get any more subscriptions out of this on either one of the channels. We don't get anything from this, but I get personal vindication that for 3 years I have been on him to make videos. And then every single video out there I have made, I have sent to Judy so that she can post it on their channel. It's now the Pete's Hot Rod and Truck. I like the Truck and Hot Rod Ranch. I think that was cool. But he's changed it again. He changed it, keeps changing it. But it's just been kind of like, you're just kind of like we'll make the videos. And then like I told him, we start making a video, and then within a couple of minutes, hey, come here and hold this. Now I got to put the phone down and turn it off, or it's upside down. And I'm no editor. I don't have. Paul gave me editing and music software 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's still on my hard drive, and I loaded it all up. Oh, your subscription expired. We want more money. You're kidding me. I got to rebuy what I was already given?
Because we have to update it. You need the newest version with all the newest codexes.
I hate the future. Yep. I hate the future. So, until I can find editing software and all that other stuff, it's going to be raw, folks, because that's the way it should be. So, well, I would love to edit, but you just can't afford it at this point. However, on the other end, all of a sudden, what's this tripod for? Is this for a light? No, it's for my tablet. You got a new tablet? Yeah. Judy got me a new tablet. Oh, good. And this is for, I don't know, try to make a video. Am I dead? Is this it? I have a stroke. I want Hannah to have the house and all the cars. Give her my comic books. They gotta be worth a couple thousand. So I got a lot of Ghost Rider and Spider-Man.
That'll fill the tank in the car.
Yeah. So Joe and I are. What are we doing today? Well, I'm gonna make a Will It Run video. Oh, you're wasting your time. While we're making those videos, and I'm trying to get the tools from Joe, and he basically takes over my project. Don't mess with the old dudes. He's a force of nature. Let him go. He knows what he's doing. So I hear Pete making videos. Oh. So then I'd find out that the dude Wally from Fab Rats has like almost 20,000 subscribers. He's got like 18,000 subscribers, and he told Pete, "This takes care of the basics." Really? Okay, this is vindication. This is not just me who, oh, you're just a kid. Dude, I'm 53 years old. Everything hurts. I am beyond being a kid. I mean, in my mind, I'm a kid. You look at me like I'm a kid. I have a youthful view of the world, but I am no child. I have had all the horrible life experiences without a major war that a 53-year-old can have in peacetime and still come out swinging and be optimistic. It ain't easy. So, because that was the thing. There's no fucking way you just woke up one morning and went, Bill's right, I should start making videos. No, because you've been just kind of like, oh, for 3 years. Sure. But you're going to tell me, oh, okay, and then go in and watch Fab Rats on your tablet. You went and drove to meet them in Kingman. For those of you who don't live in Arizona, that's like 4 hours of driving. Not all of it is highway.
That's half your trip to Vegas.
Pretty much. It's picturesque, but there ain't a lot out there. It's beautiful. It's kind of barren. If you're a civilization person, don't go. If you love like the lake and boating and being in the middle of nowhere, Kingman and Bullhead City and Laughlin, that's your town, baby. Those are beautiful towns out in the middle of fucking nowhere. So or Havasupai. They have London, the original London Bridge. They have a whole
Lake Havasu.
Lake Havasu.
Always fun.
Yeah. Sorry, I said it wrong.
Havasu like puts you at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that's wrong. I go back and watch the old shows, and I'm like, oh, I was totally wrong. I mean, everybody knows what I was talking about, but I totally said the wrong thing. I've been doing that my whole life. It's nothing new. People have been clowning on me the whole. It doesn't, it doesn't bother me because it's not like I don't know I do it.
Yeah.
You can't make fun of me when I don't give a shit. Okay, all right. Anyway, new topic. So,
yeah,
I find that interesting too. That there's the skiing people versus the off-roading people versus it's the same difference as hockey versus football versus basketball versus baseball, and all of them are different. The best is the King of the Hill when Peggy goes from being a football mom to a hockey mom to a soccer mom and then back to being a football mom. And it's like you're allowed to try whatever you want, but you are what you are. Sorry.
Yep. You're going to go through and go with it.
Yeah. Not everybody gels in the same group either. You have, even in tabletop gaming, I've had groups of people where one dude was like, we're not friends, I'm just gaming with you guys. Okay. You come to my house every week, but okay, that's really weird. I mean, I consider you a friend. I'm not gonna let
Welcome
you.
aboard.
Yeah, if I let you in my home once, you're a guest. But after about 5 times, you're like family, dude. Sorry, you're a gaming family. We may split up, we may break up, we may not talk to each other for decades, we may get back together, but other than that, you're family. It's weird that way. It's gaming's weird.
Yeah, you have no choice now. One of us. One of
One of
us.
us, one of us. I went back recently and rewatched Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves because I really wanted to watch, really wanted to really love the first movie with Jeremy Irons and Marlon Wayans and the rest, and it's like people made the movie that never played it. They were just you just explained it to them, and they went, "Oh, this is a great idea," and they went and made a movie. Like, no, wait, stop. That has. Never mind. The best was the best in the first one is the girl. I'm a 12th level wizard. They don't go running around saying what level they are. You're just a wizard if your level has a name. Like some of the levels have names. Then yes, but other than that, no. No more than they go around. I'm a level 2 farmer. That does not fucking happen. It's not classified like that. That does not exist. But it's the same kind of. You don't hear that he's a level 8 warrior or a level 8 fighter. It's just, what are they called? Like marauders or.
Well, and it's funny because in the anime now, what I'm seeing, which kind of throws me off because my grandchildren are enjoying some of the anime stuff that's out, some of the Americanized anime. And a lot of the programs, a lot of the anime that's out there melds the card games, the RPGs, and the video games into an anime. So it is so much beyond what Pokemon was. You know, Pikachu, I choose you, and your character goes out and does the fight.
Yeah.
In these animes, I've seen it where, you know, the lead character steps up, and all of a sudden you can see all of his stats above him.
Yeah.
And this is in the anime. And his opponent can see his stats, and they understand, and oh, your power is much higher than mine. I must call for another. But they're seeing the stats cards, and I'm thinking, okay, I understand how this can work because my grandchildren understand that. They see that. That's made the link between the card game, the video game, and now the anime that they're watching. That's great.
Yeah.
For us, that would have been, what the hell is this? You can't do that.
For us in the first edition, now you're talking about when dwarves were just dwarves, elves were elves, halfling, you know, you could only. It doesn't get really cool and diverse for each class and character until 2nd edition, 3rd edition, and on. So, let's say you're in a new town, whether you're in Greyhawk, probably in Greyhawk, because Forgotten Realms doesn't come out till 89 to 92, depending on where you live. So, let's say you go to this village, this area, and you start talking to farmers, because they're the first near humans that you meet as you're going into the village to get to the tavern or the town square. And they're going to tell you, if you ask them who's the most powerful warrior, and you're going to say, who's the most powerful warrior in your area, they're going to say the name, and then they're going to give a title. And that title is going to tell you what level. First level is a veteran, warrior, swordmaster, hero, swashbuckler, Miradon, champion, superhero, lord, lady, 10th level. So if they say, well, it's John the Swashbuckler. You know that bastard is 5th level.
Yeah, it's Joe the asshole. What?
No, wait, no, that's not a level.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Hold on. He's 35th level. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's no. That's boss level. We're not here.
And it's the same thing as like playing a thief or an assassin in Dungeons and Dragons. You're kind of like a superhero. You have a secret identity. You don't walk around advertising that you're a thief or an assassin. You'll get thrown in jail and killed.
Only in the video games, and that's only when the NPC comes up and says, you know, hey, warrior, I have something I need you to do, because you're looking for a side quest or a new quest.
Most of the time thieves dress as warriors, because that's the easiest class to pass yourself off of and still pull it off, because they can still fight. They don't want to pretend to be a wizard or a bard or a cleric, because once it's the
they show up as merchants, so they show up as something
merchants,
other than right. So what are you? Well, I'm a merchant. I'm a traveling salesman. I sell medieval brushes.
But if you're sitting in a bar and you're hanging out with the rest of the adventurers, and you look around and there's not a lot of people in the bar, but there's like 1 or 2 seedy characters, and you tell the DM, I'm going to go looking for work in Thieves' Cant, which is a kind of sign language for thieves. Most of it is in common, like American Sign Language. Some of it's, colloquial for the dialect, for the area, for the region. But most of them will come up to you and go, well, you need to talk to, Pidgewidgeon the burglar. Well, that guy's a 5th level thief. Burglars are 5th level thieves. But he may not be, he's not going to be dressed in his cat suit in the middle of the day. Okay, well,
you'll find him.
He's selling
You'll
potatoes.
find him at the right. Yeah. You'll find him at the markets.
You'll find him
and he'll be in the 3rd stall.
Hi, who are you? I'm looking for Pidgewidgeon the. Oh, no! I'm Robert the potato salesman. So you want how many bags of potatoes today? Because it's not. That's the worst thing about giving thieves to a 10-year-old who knows nothing about the game. Same thing with bards, really. Because when you're 9 or 10, you understand, okay, clerics and gods and all that fun stuff. Fighter, ranger, paladin, okay, they're knights, cavalier, okay, I got that. But druid on, you're getting into, like, maybe your 10-year-old is very diverse and they're going to figure it out and they can push forward and understand all these concepts of good and evil and right and wrong and, things like that. But thief is always the toughest to give to a child, basically. You shouldn't be playing thieves till you're like 13 on. Till you've shoplifted and either been busted or not.
If you're going to do that, you need to have a well-versed DM who knows how to teach them the game and delineate between the game and whatever happens outside this door.
Yeah.
The second we close the book, you're no longer Eldar the burglar. You're back to being Little Billy. Don't screw around.
Well, it goes back to that horrible movie with Tom Hanks, Mazes and Monsters, which I have a copy of because it's D&D, where, dude, you shouldn't be letting mentally challenged people play role-playing games if they're having a problem with reality and the wall between fantasy and reality. It's not real. It's a game. I've been 400 people through being 9, but none of them are real. I'm the only real firmly planted on the earth. And that's the beauty of it too, is the escapism. But thieves are always hard because you're not accustomed to playing into this massive world of subterfuge. And if you are, well, then CPS needs to remove you from that house.
We need to talk about this
Yeah.
because there's a problem.
You're growing up in a Game of Thrones home in a modern day, and that is, yeah, they need to come get you and rescue your ass.
We can't have
Holy
that. I need to
Christ.
talk to your
Yeah.
parents.
We need to talk to all the
Or your-
parents. All right. Ed, how are you? Ed joined us. I gave him a camera. I can kind of hear him. Hello.
Hello, lonesome stranger.
Hello. I'm glad he appeared. I really need to go to the bathroom. I didn't want to leave you on your own to fill in. Hey, you got Old Glory there on your lap.
Well, I have an old glory that is destroyed.
Oh, no.
So I must do the appropriate, which is it must be properly separated so that it can be correctly destroyed.
Oh, gotcha. Ed? Can you hear us, sir?
It is the traditional seance. Can you hear us? Can you see us?
hear
Are
me,
you there?
Spirit? Asking him on Telegram. I gave him my old camera the youngest child gave to me. The little $7 Logitech. Hey, it worked. We did 30-some episodes with it.
Right.
It
Can't
still
complain.
should work, yeah. And I'm using my Ed original pipe. I've used it before in other episodes. Ed made this just for me. It's awesome. It's got a carb there.
I
at the
see
bottom.
it. I just can't.
Hey, there you. Now I can hear you.
Hey,
I don't-
how are you, Ed?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear us? Ed, plug the camera in. I give it. Oh no! Shit. Oh well. We'll get him on here. Well, we introduce Ed, and then we get DM Rob on here, and then we pick like a Saturday or Sunday, and see if we can do like a 4 or 6 hour stint D&D or
Yep.
Pathfinder or whatever you want to do. Starfinder. I don't have any Pathfinder books. I do have Starfinder books though. Ed, he's back. Huzzah. He's talking, but I can't hear him. Oh, he's muted himself. I turned his volume way up. Ed.
There, now I can hear you.
Oh, right on.
There he is.
Thank you for joining
How you
us.
doing?
Doing good. Thank you for joining us.
I couldn't figure out why I couldn't hear you.
What was the solution to the enigma?
I don't know. I clicked the wrong thing apparently.
Oh,
Now
Yeah.
how do I get back?
I don't know. Well, it's working. Don't touch it. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
It's
Did you try plugging the tiny camera I gave you in, or?
no.
Oh, okay. No.
There we go. Okay. Let me yeah. It just plugs into where the
Yeah.
the
The
thumb drive-
USB.
Yeah. Okay.
USB. Like Ed was saying, he hasn't used Discord since Paul was alive. Like, dude, that's
Yeah.
over 3 years ago. I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow. Time travel.
Did it work?
Digitized there.
Is there some program I got to set?
I don't think so.
'Cause I plugged it in.
That sounds way better, whatever you did.
Okay,
Sounds
but hello?
Hello.
Oh,
Okay,
Hello.
I thought I lost you again.
yeah.
So you're using that thing, huh?
Oh, I love this. This is great. The bowl's very big. You can fill up the carb. I just worry about, cleaning it. If this ever gets clogged, I'm screwed. But this pipe is awesome. It's my Gandalf pipe. Your love of the Hobbit's leaf has made you soft.
So what are you guys talking about?
We were talking about
Yeah.
D&D right before you'd logged
Oh
on.
yeah? What were you talking?
Okay, so, and again, this is something that we discussed when Andy and Angela and Luke and you and I think Ron was with us too. We were all playing when they lived in that house off of Michigan Avenue and like
Yeah, okay.
35th Avenue. So,
Yeah, Boy Scout was with us.
okay, when you're playing a thief, you don't run around advertising that you're a thief. You'll get arrested. You'll get picked up by the authorities.
Yes.
So you pretend to be a merchant or a fighter or another kind of blah, nothing.
Okay.
What do you do? What do you do? Oh, I represent a rancher who lives way the hell out, because there's still cattle rustling in D&D. It's just that because there's monsters, no one gives a shit. So you wouldn't want to run around advertising that you're a ne'er-do-well. You want to keep that on the down low.
Okay.
So you would create another persona. You're Bob the thief. But when you go into a town, you don't want to let people know that you're a thief. You tell them you're John the fighter. I'm John the warrior. Yeah, I fight.
Okay.
I kill the orcs and the kobolds. Fuck those guys. Yeah. Fuck them running. And then I kill the horses and ride off on the women in their village. And yeah, because you don't want to let people know that you're this high.
Okay, I understand the concept.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Well, no, we were going back and forth and making goofy.
All right.
No, well,
All
hey,
right.
do you want to talk about your history and?
Yeah, give us your background for all of our listeners, everybody who's joined up and watching.
Welcome to episode 38, Ed.
Give us your background, sir.
Listen, on a D&D type of question, right?
Sure.
I've seen that this Michael Matt Mercer and his Critical Role people. You know how they have the show and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But him and those people have their own game system that is not D&D. And if they're going to run West Marches type campaign, what is that?
I would have to look at it.
What is a West Marches type campaign?
That's an interesting idea. Interesting term. I've never heard that.
I guess I'm listening to the wrong YouTube.
No, no.
It's its own world, it looks like. West Marches Campaign Playstyle Handbook PDF.
That's the joy of the original Dungeons and Dragons. The whole system was truly originally designed with the intent that you could, for all intents and purposes, hack the code and add to it however you decided you wanted to. You can't do that with most games that are out there that are made by an entity with a fixed set of rules. The rules that come with Dungeons and Dragons have always been the type that they were intended to be, as much as possible, guidelines so that you can go about making your adventures your own.
Ed, you know what
That's one of the reasons why it was so popular.
What?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Rob. Go ahead.
No, go right ahead. I was just saying that that's.
You know
I think that's what made Dungeons and Dragons so popular.
Yeah. You know what this sounds like? This sounds like exactly what you've been talking to want to do, Rob. This sounds like Path of Exile or when we play Borderlands 2 together, Ed. You know the area. You know the situation. You just kind of go in there and explore. And it doesn't matter who's with you. The area and the monsters and stuff are more important than the campaign or, again, I'm just making a quick reading as fast as I can.
So it's entitled for everyone to be a one-shot.
Boom.
Is that what I'm...
Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
or something where you could have people come and go. So if you've got a group of, say you've got a group of 20 people, but you have a hard time getting all 20 people together at any given moment in time, if it's set up in the right manner, you can be moving through the area. Oh, Bill can't make it this week, so we're going to happen to be in an area where we can pick up with, somebody else joining us for the week who hasn't been able to be with us for a while. They can play out that portion of the campaign, but that portion gets played in the one-shot fashion. And that makes it fun so that everybody can hang out. And you don't end up with a circumstance where, oh, geez, we can't play because 3 people can't make it. Well, yeah, we can. We just carry on.
Yeah.
No, it's it looks like a one-shot thing. This looks cool. But this thing keeps keeps reloading and pissing me off. So.
Oh, okay. Not important. Not important. So, are you guys getting a game together?
We're still working on it.
About it.
Well, we've got to get a bunch of people together for real, and then I've got to ask Rob if he has time. I don't know how many games he's running right now. Yeah, the GM was like, where do you want to go? Who's playing? How much time do you have? So this is definitely a one-shot engine.
Okay.
I'm intrigued. I remember you were telling me about this earlier. Today? Was it today or yesterday?
Yeah, it must have been recently. I just saw the video the other day.
What's the place when you would like to arrive? What can you smell? Where are the clues? This is like real basic, like video game player tabletop stuff. So easy to throw together at the drop of a hat. Well, I mean, if you're going to putting a good campaign together takes weeks. It really does. Putting it all together, putting all the monsters in all the rooms, wandering monsters, side plots in case your characters get further along or further behind your timeline. You laugh, man. You don't know.
No,
that's why
I can remember playing with Paul and his 2 nephews.
Yeah.
Right? And Paul had this whole thing, and the 2 nephews just derailed him big time.
Theo and Lewis, they just destroyed everything. Yeah. Like, why did you not see this coming? Dude, you've been playing since the 80s.
He was very thrown off.
It was sad. Watch him lose his shit, but also funny.
Yeah.
But you have to be ready for that. That when you're first starting out, you write outlines, this and this and this and this and this. After you've been playing for a couple of years, you don't even bother with that. You do circles and arrows. You just do circles and arrows, and these are my NPCs that are bad guys. These are the good guys. These are the in the middle. These are my wandering monsters. And you just kind of sprinkle because you never know what the party is going to do. They're always going to make a 90-degree turn left, and you're not going to be ready for it. So you just kind of have to go, oh, okay.
It's the if then else.
Yeah.
If this, then this. Otherwise, we're going to do this. And then I've got something in my sleeve in case you guys just really make a hard right turn.
The problem is, like the movie and everything else, when you have a world of gods and devils and demons and angels and solars and all these other things and magic, you have a world where mimics exist. And now you have a world where you don't trust anything. So your party may spend an entire session trying to solve a mystery that doesn't exist. And no matter how you try to move them on, they're convinced that you're trying to trick them. No, dude, come on.
Because you are.
You're wasting time on this. The bad guy is that way. You're dealing with this. I'm just going to make the building fall down because that'll help you move along. Because you won't be able to look in the building anymore if it doesn't exist.
That's right. Here comes the ninjas, and you're moving along.
Yeah. And that's what we were also talking about is a super annoying NPC to guide the party. Usually they're an antagonist. Do you remember the first movie, Happy Gilmore?
Kind of, yeah.
Joe Flaherty from SCTV fame's character. You're not going to make this putt, jackass! The paw and the guy and the rain and and you have to kind of create characters like that. Otherwise, your party will fixate on a puzzle that isn't a puzzle. You guys took one word I said, and now we've wasted like 4 hours on nothing.
Yep.
Last session wasn't exciting because you wasted 4 hours on a mystery that wasn't. Yeah. Or you have this, or worse. Okay. Nobody wants to play the cleric. I got that. Nobody wants to be the medic. It's a very boring job. So you give them an NPC cleric. And now you're playing with the party, so you have to be very reserved on what you do because you can't steer them one way or another. Now they're in some weird room that they're convinced is a curse or hidden whatever or part of the plot. And even using the NPC, we should really get going. No! We've got to figure out why this chair is here. It's there because the landslide put it that we should really get going. No! There's probably a secret passage in this wall. Why roll again? Do you really want to roll again? Yes, why? Are you sure? Why? Do you want to know how much time all that rolling took? Oh, how much time did all that rolling take? About 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Really? Why? You think you just walk up and go,
Well, that is
secret
part
passage!
of my problem with D&D is there is so many rules. You know, a second of shooting an arrow or whatever, it takes so much time. And also, you roll for your hit and you roll for your damage. Why shouldn't that just be one roll?
I kind of agree with you on that one. Not going to argue. That's why it's up to the DM to throw a lot of rules out. You don't need all of them. You're not going to follow every single one. That's monotony. And then the worst is you'll play with a rules lawyer, and they'll just this. No, I don't like that rule, and here's why. But this rule, it's a rule. It's a rule given by the gods that created the game. Okay, first rule of the player of the DM's guide. The rules are a guideline, but this is the rules, and the rules state. Look. Okay, I get it. It's called the player's handbook for a reason, but it's called the DM's guide for a completely other reason. Because I'm in charge, and I said no. So that's.
So that guy, I think he calls himself Professor DM or something like that. He said that he doesn't allow any looking up of the rules during the game.
Oh no, that's part of the fun. When they're like, I'm looking, it says it on page 132. Okay, read it to me. Yeah, the rules of the.
He believes you should wait till after the game to look up that rule.
I give him that because it does disrupt the flow when you've got someone who just wants to fucking filibuster and is like, dude, we're in the middle of fighting orcs. What the hell? I said no. Argue with me later.
I have sat at a table where one of the players had his phone out to the rule book every minute of the play.
Ron does that in our group, but it's usually for Ron. What does that spell do? Oh, it does this. Really? It does that? Yeah, it's different from second edition. Yeah, it is. Oh my god. I had no idea it had changed so much. But yeah, rules. I'm all. You have to have rules because you're playing in a game with alignments and this and that and that. But you don't have. It's got magic and gods and demons and angels. The rules are going to be bent. They're some rule. Most rules are fluid. Some are. You know. Like when you die, it's going to cost X amount to bring you back. If you're this level, it's going to cost this amount. That's not the DM being mean. That's in the fucking rules, and that's the gods across the ball. You know, it's not like, well, you know, Helm said this, and you know, Corinthians said.
The only rule that cannot be argued is Mom says we have to finish by 7.
I don't know.
That's the only rule that cannot be argued. Mom's not having any of it.
It's a shame that I got fired, quit from Tapatio Cliffs. It was mutual because the penthouse is the ultimate gaming room. They've got the 12-foot table, a fireplace, a full kitchenette, a bathroom, and they even have the private balcony so you can do, okay, John and Tim, you come with me. Okay, you two are in the alleyway, and this is what you see while the rest of them are at the banquet pretending to be nobles, you know, or whatever's happening. Because that's
Excuse me for just a moment. Be right back.
Okay. Absolutely. But that's the other beauty of I always prefer future games because you have more leniency with bad guys. It's much easier in Star Frontiers or one of the many other space games to make an army of people appear than it is in Dungeons and Dragons or Boot Hill or Gamma World or, you know, one of the easiest one would be Rifts. All of a sudden, like 5,000 of them are just standing there. What? Well, you're near a nexus point. Fucking anything from anywhere could come out of one of those holes.
You're now in the midst of the great fuck you nexus.
Yeah.
And
you're now
you're
surrounded
about
by
to get fucked.
vampires, giant bugs. What do you know? What hurts the most?
You're now surrounded by evil Karens
Yeah.
who are going to want to talk to your
I
manager.
want the manager.
Right now.
I want to talk to the owner.
And that's one of the things that I liked about D&D was there was limited, limited reality that had to be dealt with. And it depended on what your DM was wanting to do. So when you played some of the other games, like I can't remember when you were the bootleggers in the 1930s and the 1920s, and the gangbusters, and stuff like that.
All of the
But see, those became much more difficult in that aspect because you still had to live within the realms of reality, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's like I used to have a lot of the wars, like what was it, Allied Front, and you had the war in Europe, and then you had the war in Southeast Asia, and you had the war in Africa, and all the rest of the stuff. Well, you played as a commanding officer, but you also ended up playing squad level or army level command.
Yeah.
You had to in certain stand. You couldn't say, "Well, suddenly I have a giant nuclear device." No, you couldn't have that for another 2 years.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. That's not how role-playing games work.
Exactly, and that was
that aspect. Yeah.
All right, you're back. Fantastic.
I see that game, Axis and Allies, or Allies and Axis. They have big tournaments of that. National, I was amazed.
That's another thing I would like to do. You gave me those 3 games. We should set up 3 or 4 of us and have a battle. What Axis and Allies, Shogun, and what's the Roman one called? It's in the hallway, in the shelf.
The Golden Eagle or something like that?
No, it's Command. It's
something like BSBs.
Hold on, on the way to the back from the bathroom because I gotta go. Hold on, I'll be right. Excuse me. I'm terribly sorry.
All those games are Risk Plus.
Yes, they are unit tactics and army level tactics, which can be a lot of fun, but you have to be in that mindset. My youngest enjoys that type of role-playing game. As soon as I taught him how to play Risk, he ran with it as a young man. And now he plays a lot of those historical war games online. He loves them. So he can go out and play. There's one that basically is Axis and Allies, but you can set it up in present day. So he's done it numerous times in World War II and World War I and present times. And he said, I have a great time. I get to do all these wonderful things. And I always get my ass handed to me. I said, well, yeah, that's pretty much what happens when you go out and start screwing around in the weird wide world. People tend to get a little unhappy.
I play a lot of the game Civilization myself. And I have for, I don't know, probably since we got our first computer. I think it was Civilization 2, and now they're up to 7, I think.
Oh, wow. So you get to build your civilization from what's your starting level?
A scout and a settler.
Okay. So rolling in, starting your village and building up from villages to towns and so on?
Right, and having technology. First you have to get, before you have to get animal husbandry before you can get horseback riding. You have to get basic before you can get complex. And finding the resources. As you get technology, you find a higher value resource that you have to now go find.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're lucky and the new resource will be by your already established town, but
Is this Sid Meier's Civilization or Far Cry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Far Cry is a first-person shooter.
Yeah. Oh, the Roman board game is called Conquest.
Thank you. Thank you.
But you said it takes like 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours to play the game. So it's another scenario where we'd all have to like meet at like 6 or 7 on a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
And then we'll just set up laptops and phones and just play the game.
That Conquest one is only one step more complicated than Risk. In fact, it's pretty much the same.
Well,
And then when you get the Shogun, that's another level of complexity. And then that Ally and Axis, the book is like 30 some odd pages.
I also got we could make figures, but I got the what is it, Warriors of Barshum,
Oh yeah.
which is basically like, you know, Risk or Stratego, but based on John Carter's,
Yeah.
was it Burroughs?
Yeah, I always liked John Carter when I was learning how to read,
Yeah, it's a good story.
6th grade and stuff. I
Yeah.
used to really ate up John Carter.
Well, no, I was hoping that you were gonna start at what you told me about getting out of Vietnam when you were done, and then that one guy told you get the same amount of money for your GI Bill.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sitting behind the auditorium, smoking a joint with a random dude, and I'm trying to take microfilm technology and just all these serious. And the guy says, I'm a theater major. I make just as much on the GI Bill as you.
Yeah.
So that's when I became an art major.
But your one professor sounds awesome. I would have loved to take classes from that guy.
But I'm not sure.
The one you were talking about, he was really into the chemistry of ceramics and.
Dr. Conrad, yes.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, I can't remember that.
Yes, he was a PhD of glazed chemistry.
Oh wow.
He went to school at Carnegie Mellon.
Prestigious.
Yeah.
Very prestigious. Because that's kind of awesome. Because, like, I sent you that one video, and there's a lot of. I'm fascinated by ceramics. It excites the crap out of me because you're basically taking earth and you're turning it into something and putting fire and paint on it and chemicals, and now it's something completely different. Much like blacksmithing, much like knitting too, where you're taking this like string and you're making this whole pants or sweater, or that always fascinates me.
I've been doing a little bit about archaeology and how far back the pottery itself. When somebody discovered that mud would harden in the fire, that changed the course of civilization.
So you two are the known experts for the council. What do you think came first, blacksmithing or ceramics?
Oh, I think ceramics.
By far, ceramics.
Yeah.
I kind of think so too.
Yeah.
Not that they weren't thinking about blacksmithing, but it probably took a lot more to like engineer that than it would be to. I think a kiln would be easier to construct. I'm sorry to be ignorant, but for paleo. We were talking about Göbekli Tepe, right? Like 13.
They didn't have kilns like we do. They put their pottery in a pit and filled it with animal dung and lit it on fire.
Worked.
They didn't,
Yeah, it worked.
that's how, yeah.
Well, when is the first kill made? When does that? Well, Rob's going inside his house.
Just looking for something real quick.
Right on. Is it Egypt or China or Sumeria or Mesopotamia?
It's before any of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going to share with the rest of the class or just keep this knowledge?
I have no evidence to the contrary, but yeah, I think pottery was established way before Egypt. And you look at where pottery is. I mean, Navajo and Incas, and they had no contact with China or Egypt. You know what I mean? It's the same thing how some people will say, oh, look, there must be Andalusians from Atlantis because there's pyramids in Egypt and there's pyramids in Central America. They miss the point. Everywhere that there's organized people, they build some kind of pyramid.
True.
They build some kind of mountain that they put a temple on top of.
Yeah. Oh, it was done by slaves and the. No, it's no different than a whole community that gets tired of a vacant lot being used as a trash heap. And then all of a sudden, on one Saturday, a couple of the prominent members of the community are like, I'm fucking tired of this. We're going to go clean that up. Let's go. And then 300 people show up because that person is glue. They're the influential ones that we're going to follow. You laugh, but
They're the influenza.
They're
the influenza, so we just get them in there.
So Conrad. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I would say that, quite frankly,
down.
Yep.
Oh,
there
you go.
I would say, quite frankly, that ceramics would have led to most understanding of metallurgy and what would have been the first artificers in metal, because that was the first time you were putting earth into fire. Now, as you're getting things coming out of that, you started making things, and I've got, I've made this beautiful pot, but what's this material over here that kind of bled out from the heat? Oh, well, it's kind of shiny. Well, that's copper. Well, I don't know how to call it copper. All I know is that it came out of the ground, and I figured out if I burn more of this stuff, maybe I can get more of that stuff.
So you're saying that ceramics created alchemy?
Ceramics would have begun the process of showing people that there was more in the earth. So you've got ceramics uses, quite frankly, the 4 elements, right? Earth, wind, fire, and water. You have to use them to get there. So I would say that ceramics was a direct link to getting blacksmithing and so many other things that became the engines of industry.
Ed? Oh. Huzzah. I can almost see you. There you are. Would you agree with all that Rob said? Camera works. Need to point it up a little bit, but yay! Hey, there you go. Uh-oh. We can't hear you. Your lips are moving. You keep on talking, but we can't hear you. Da, 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 da. Oh, no. We lost him. Oh, no, he's still in. I don't know. Chemistry is absolutely fascinating, and like we were at breakfast and he was telling me about it, Professor Conrad, and the guy was like really into the chemistry of ceramics, and that just sounded absolutely fascinating.
Oh yeah.
He's back. Speak. Still can't hear you. I need to get him a headset. I don't know why it's not working. We can see you, but we can't hear you. You might have to go into Discord and do the default to. Go for it, Rob.
I don't know that I can help too much with all of that.
Better at this than I am because you have to like switch the little drop down.
Because it comes in and it tells you. Yeah. It'll ask you when you start up, would you like to change?
Yeah.
And oftentimes I say, no, don't change anything. I've barely gotten this to work. Stop acting up.
Ed has told me some just fucking awesome and awesomely hilarious stories about working for Harrah's Casino in Reno. Back in the day when Mr. Oh, I see him. Ed, I see you talking. Crap. Because if you go Discord, there's a down at the bottom, there's user settings. And then you can go to input device, microphone, and then you grab the one that's the camera that you just plugged in, the Logitech, and it should enable audio. Burn it, whatever you're burning.
This is the proper way to dispose of a
personal
US
documents.
Flag.
Oh, the flag.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I've never been in the military, but we're destroying Old Glory. I'm not mocking. It's very important.
I had a flag that got destroyed by our wild, wild weather. And I do not throw flags into the garbage. I was always taught that they are cut up. All of the stars are taken off the field of blue. All of the stripes are burned individually. All of the stars are burned individually, and the field of blue is burned individually. And so there's probably proper words to be said that I am not saying, but the intent is there. This is all taken care of in the manner it should be.
I don't know why it's not picking up his audio. That's weird. Because it's got... is it muted, Ed? Because it shows muted when I... crap. Yeah, you've muted. So go to drag your cursor over us in Discord, and it should show a microphone with a slash through it. Click on that, and it should unmute you. It's down at the bottom. I can't hear you to answer your question. Sorry. I want to answer your question, but I cannot hear you, unfortunately.
Desperately wish to answer your question.
I do. I don't want him to be muted. That's... No.
We would never seek to mute Ed.
No.
Ed is a wealth of knowledge and information.
I don't think I've muted anybody. Voice and visual settings. Because if you go to... I am not an expert on... Uh-oh, what happened? We lost Ed. Shit. Full moon.
I'm sure he will come back.
Technical difficulties. Ed is always welcome.
Tactical difficulties.
Damn it. We'll figure it out. Sorry, kids, we're not experts and we don't have a lot of fancy, expensive equipment. We're average Joes on a budget with a whole lot of friends.
I'm an above average Joe, damn it.
Oh, Ed gave me, he made this, but this is the most, I've shown this before, I think. I love her. This is the best pencil holder ever. I stare at her a lot, mostly her bubble butt, because that's a favorite of mine, too. Ed, I was just showing off the pencil holder you gave me. It's highly prized.
And Old Glory has been properly disposed of.
Why is he still muted? You're muted on your end because I've got you turned up to 177 and I still can't hear you. Yeah, I don't know how to. Shit. There's got to be a way.
Ron, I need you to go over to Ed's.
Ron! Where's Ron? He's probably working. Or he's got family shit going on. But there should be, like, Ed, if you expand Discord for the whole screen, and then you look down at the bottom and it shows you the microphone and the video thing, and there's the disconnect button. So the microphone should say mute on it, and it should not have a slash through it. It's got to be a settings thing. If he's clicked that, we still can't hear him. Well, so you don't have the camera. I'll come over tomorrow and figure it out. Oh, shit. It's a $7 camera. There's going to be issues. I see you talking, but I can't hear what you're saying. Yeah, you're not muted on my end. That camera is the devil. I'm sorry I gave it to you. We'll figure it out. Just unplug it. No good deed goes unpunished. Damn it. Okay, give us a sound test. Check. Sibilance. Oh. So I'll go green for a half a second. Oh, no!
Nope.
Oh. I love his workshop. It's got a kiln in there, and yeah. Well, I made a bunch of videos. And the problem is, it's like, I haven't been over there in like 8 months. Well, it's like, hey, let me come over and make videos. Oh, I did all this stuff yesterday. Oh, I did all this stuff a couple days ago. Oh, I should have really called you in advance. That's on me. Because you can't, it's like the same thing with blacksmithing. I'm just going to make an axe. No, dude, it's not like that. You have to, like, you got to beat the metal. You got to beat the clay. You got to, you know.
It's a few steps to get from here to there.
Same thing with cars and truck. I'm going to restore one. No, you got to collect the parts. Then you got to pick the year. Then you got to get the thing. Then you got to clean it. Then you got to sand it. Then you got to be ridiculed by everybody you know about different stuff. Then you got to, yeah.
My dad used to love to talk about the guys that would say, well, we're just going to swap that engine. We're going to throw another engine in there. It's like, oh, okay. How long do you think that's going to take you?
can try.
We're
The
just gonna
best
throw
was
another motor in.
Bodyman Bill was like, and he's right. Why did you take all the paint off of that? I wanted to see the body. You're gonna have to resand it. Okay. And he just looked at me with disgust, and it's like, dude, of all the projects I have going on right now, that's like the least amount of work. You know.
Well, and it's a learning opportunity.
Not only
So
that,
that's the whole point.
yeah, that body's fucking clean. So as soon as we get shrink wrap and all that set up with the box fan and blah 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 blah, that's gonna take like a day to spray that with like 2 or 3 coats. We got a great shot of your crotch. Yeah. It's awesome.
No, that's a belly.
It's your crotch and your belly. Dude.
I can just show you that. Is that a better picture?
Oh, that's a much better picture.
Fireside Chats with Bill Kelly.
There we go. Long ago, when the Native Americans roamed the land, and this was just the Arizona territory, there was the Mogollon Rim Monster. Yeah. Was it Bill Spade? Bill Spade. Wasn't he like a sheriff? I haven't heard the story since I was like 12. I completely forget about it.
That one I don't remember. I'd have to pull out some of my Arizona tales and got
it's a
bunch of books that are,
yeah.
old Arizona tales and stories of the Wild West and then ghost stories of Arizona and stuff like that.
So Jerome, up on the Mogollon Rim, near Payson, is a rather large Boy Scouts of America compound. Camp Geronimo. Did I say Jerome? Jerome is a different town and has nothing to do with Geronimo. Whoops. And now for my next magical trick.
Hey.
Camp Geronimo. Camp Geronimo is on the Mogollon Rim near Payson. And Payson has a huge Bigfoot cryptozoology history. They've been seeing Bigfoot on the rim since we came across the land bridge from Asia. That long. There's always stories of Sasquatch among the Native Americans. So, the Mogollon Rim Monster, there's a Native American warrior, and he wants to be the best, the deadliest, the most amazing, the most fierce, the number one warrior. And the Kachinas come and they tell him, the gods say no. Computer says no.
Yeah.
So he has to go out and prove himself. No, you can't have immortality and invulnerability. No. Well, I've proven myself, and you're still not worthy, Chucky. Sorry, Johnson. The answer's no. So finally, the gods get tired of him, and they bestow invulnerability and immortality on him, and he goes crazy. He not only kills every man, woman, and child of the opposing tribes and the enemies and the white man and the brown man and the black man and everybody. He kills his own tribe. He goes insane with the power. So the gods are absolutely pissed after all of this happens, because why stop him in the middle? Just wait till he's done. But lore. So they decide that what happened to Ed?
You shift gears like that, you're going to strip out that transmission.
I know. He's not worthy of what they've bestowed upon him. So they decide, you are going to be punished. So we're going to take away your ability to communicate. And we're going to make you big and hairy and smelly And this will keep you from harming humanity. So then he's just kind of loose in Arizona for a really long time. And then humanity comes to Payson, Starlight, Sholo, all of the Rim, Snowflake, I think is another one up there. And there's, I think Bill Spade is a sheriff, and he has a girlfriend, and the monster, the warrior, wants the girlfriend, and he ends up stealing her. And to this day, you can still hear her screaming on the mountain, "It's Bigfoot!" Because that's the ghost of her trying to run away from the monster. Bigfoot. It's not a monster. So that's what I heard at 12 at Camp Geronimo as a Weeblo, not yet a Boy Scout, because there's Cub Scout, Weeblo, Boy Scout. Much like Brownie, something, Girl Scout. Ed's having issues.
No worries.
Yeah, really. Oops. And that was like this grizzly old mountain man, which that brings up another whole question. What's the difference between like a hobo and a mountain man? Because, or a hermit and a mountain man, because these are essentially the same jobs, except mountain man trap animals and kill them for their furs, and usually come back once every couple months and trade all that shit in to get money to get the essentials that they need. But they're self-sufficient up there in the mountains. They brew their own hooch, they kill their own animals, they, unless something happens, they don't need to come back to town until whatever resource runs out, really. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Well, the main difference between a hermit and a mountain man was the mountain man chose the mountain for whatever reason to go and work. That was where they wanted to go. They wanted to go and work.
Yeah.
They were going to chase the grizz. They were going to chase the buffalo. They were going to chase the beaver. They were going to chase whatever.
Yeah.
They went up to do that, to work, to be there. They had a similar mindset to a hermit, with the sole exception that the hermit generally is the person that does not want to have anything to do with other humans. No desire, no interest. I'm going to find a cave. I'm going to go deep back into that cave. I'm going to push out the bears and the lions and the tigers and the bulls and whatever the hell else may be in there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to live in that cave.
Because that's where the theory of Diogenes comes in, who is one of my favorite philosophers, because he realized you don't need wealth and material possessions and to keep up with the neighbors and all this other bullshit to make, just go be happy. And he lived in a wine cask, and he was he would be considered a radical if he was alive today, as far as philosophers go. As more so than, because you got like Aristotle and Plato, and then you have like Socrates, where he's like in the middle, more to the left, but then way left is Diogenes, and he just doesn't give a fuck.
I had when I first was doing contracting and all the rest of that, and I thought about hanging out my own shingle, and I was so disappointed in corporate world and corporate life and all the rest of that. That was going to be the name of my contracting group.
Diogenes.
Was the Diogenes group.
Oh my
and
god!
The image that I had drawn, the logo I had drawn up, was of a kind of just a purely black and white stylized, but it was Diogenes with his staff and his lantern. So Diogenes was in black, and the lantern was in black with light rays coming out of it.
Yeah.
And for those
Well-
that don't know, Diogenes was the man who was searching for an honest man.
Yep.
And he brought his lantern to illuminate an honest man.
I'm going to go way deep. Way, way deep. You ready?
Yep.
Diogenes and Confucius have the same life's quest, but drastically different lives.
Yes.
They were both looking for... Same thing with Nietzsche. He can be put into that group, too. Nietzsche was looking for the Uberman, the perfect, the Ozymandias, the one that's what we all, ultimately humble, ultimately knowledgeable, ultimately crafty, ultimately ready, ultimately, it's the zenith that men strive to be after they reach a certain maturity level, and they realize that all of the growth comes from within, and all of the outside growth is also within. And that's the only thing that matters. Nothing else matters.
Yep.
If you've got it, don't...
Just like
flaunt
Metallica said it.
No. Nothing else matters. But even
Exactly.
the
Metallica said it best.
Yeah. The Spartans, if you've got it, don't flaunt it. Because they looked at flaunting wealth and status and power as a weakness. You're not strong enough to fight. That's why you're flashing your wealth and your status and because you're a wuss. Which makes perfect sense in their society.
Dude.
Yeah. You're not willing to take on 500 people? You pussy. You ballsack. You've got nothing. So there you go. Well,
We call you Douchey McDouchebane.
We might have lost Ed. That sucks. I'm going to help him tomorrow. Somebody else called me, too. I'm sorry, Ed. He's got... because
Yes.
he was working at the Harris Casino and Arena when Mr. Harris still had his automobile collection there. Dude, hey, Mr. Steele.
Oh, wow.
Hey, come here. Come here, buddy. I'm not letting you outside. It's almost 8. 7:30. And then he got to meet Don Rickles and just a whole shit ton of celebrities. And he's got a lot of a lot of really cool stories about that. Oh well. Next week.
Turn on the bedroom reading light.
Okay.
Yeah. Those were the heydays. You could get away with stuff like that. And then those people wanted to be involved.
Yeah.
They wanted to have those interactions with their fans because they knew that was the whole reason for their existence was the fact that people wanted to see them.
Yeah.
They wanted to hear them. They wanted to be around them.
Well,
so they remembered that.
It's interesting to hear how celebrities treat the working Joes that are behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like, it was always funny where my father would go to work and he would work all day and he would get home and the news would come on and my sisters and I would be freaking out about a actor, musician, celebrity. Oh my God, they're here in town. And then my father would look at the television. Oh yeah, I said hello to that guy in the hallway today. What else did you talk about? I didn't talk about anything. I was on my way to do that. I just got, because for my dad, I have to go downstairs to the engineering department to get a bottle of water. It's way easier to go in the green room. And, it's just say hello to all the celebrities that are there and their assistants and their, PAs. And just, hi, thanks. Oh, you guys are looking great. And grab the water and get back to work. Because rarely they're like, why are you here? I'm in engineering. Oh, okay. Because anybody who's been in any kind of, oh, you need the engineer. Leave him alone. He's the one that keeps us on the air. Don't talk to that guy. That's why I loved Joe Rogan playing an engineer in talk radio way back in the day, or news radio. That's what it was, with David Foley and Stephen Root.
Yeah.
Because engineers are either completely insane or they're like him, where they're all laid back and they're like, yeah, no, flip. Okay, you're back on. We're good. I'm in the basement.
Yeah.
Or they're like my father, where, what's wrong? God damn it. What happened? Some idiot spilled a 44-ounce soda inside the sound mixing studio. You know, like all the ones you see in movies and music videos. So my father had to take off the top, take off the front, and sit there for hours with alcohol on Q-tips and clean every connection so that it could be used again. And you're just winding up Satan. You don't understand. So he spent like a week yelling at everybody. Like I went to Channel 12 like months later, and when my father walked into an area, everybody left. It's like you're gonna get yelled at. Who did this? Oh fuck!
You people, what's wrong with you people? Yeah. Don't you understand? And you're walking around going, "What? This? Yeah,
this
I know about this.
I hear this every day. Hey, you guys are wimps. You don't
haven't learned how not to do stupid shit." Wow.
He's not really mad until he stops talking. Right now, this is nothing.
You guys are all saying he's in a teaching mindset. He's going to teach you something.
We're at level 3. Once he gets quiet, we get up to level 8, and I leave the area. Yeah, don't talk to him.
Listen, I'll be in the cafeteria, and you tell him where I'm at, because I don't want to let him know.
Yeah. I remember I wasn't living at home. I was in, like, the first fiance. And I remember she was in school to be a psych tech, a psychiatric technician. And her 69 cherry red fastback Mustang with a black interior. It only had a 6-banger 289 in it, but, oh, man. I think I love that car more than her. It was not doing well, and my dad was, I don't want to take this engine apart. This Colorado car is filled with rust. And so she took my Camaro, my 80 Z28, to work. It's like 92. It breaks down, and she calls me from like a gas station, and they end up limping it to Channel 12, which Channel 12 has moved since then. It's now on Van Buren, but it used to be at Portland and Central. Yep. So he and I get there. It's like a Friday or Saturday. It's his day off. It's my day off. We're going to try to get it running so we don't have to tow it back from Central and Portland to Tatum and Thunderbird. Which, if you don't live in Arizona, that's what, 8 miles?
It's a drive.
That's like a half an hour longer towing a vehicle. So we're under the hood. And Chevy did this, and the reason now Ford did that, because it's always a lesson. I wish I could remember everything he said. Bill, you're here. What? Bill, you're here. You're here. Bill, you're here. What is it? Oh, fuck. I wish I could remember. The CVR 12 or CVR 20. It's malfunctioning. I'm not on the cloud. We've got to have. It's not playing the commercials. It's the commercial machine. This thing is fucking awesome. It's like a refrigerator, really. And it's got this mechanical arm in the center of it, inside, recessed in the machine. because it's flat and it's got a push button console, like you're programming the microwave. But the inner drum is black, and it holds 60 15 seconds to 1 minute cassettes. This is the commercials. This is what I tried to explain to Kathy, Paul's wife, and everyone else who I've ever met. Television stations, CBS, ABC, NBC, NPR, all of them, run on commercials, investors, all of that shit. They're the ones that control the news and things like that. So, they grab my dad, who's out in the parking lot on his day off, trying to get my vehicle to run. They guilt him, and he's looking at me like, oh, like I'm not.
I'm going to kill you later.
Yeah, this is all your fault. I'm gonna just lecture you all the way home after we get home. We're gonna take you back here and drive you. So this is how this machine works. There's two of them. It's fucking awesome. And the problem with the broadcasting schools that were getting big in the late 80s were really big in the early 90s, like the graphic design schools and a lot of that. And it's what my father said, because I'm like, I want to be a DJ. I want to be on the news and be reading because I have the radio announcer voice and I can do, and this is all on News Tonight. And he's like, you've got all those things, but you don't understand is that hundreds of people are going to this school, this university, to be a broadcaster, but there's only NBC, ABC, CBS, WGBN, and there's only so many jobs in this metropolitan area. Same thing with being a disc jockey, because everyone's like, why aren't you on the radio? Well, because there's only so many radio stations, and there's hundreds of people trying to get those jobs. Not that I couldn't do it, but dude, the market is saturated. It's a buyer's market, and they know it. So your pay rate goes down because the availability is there. Chris Villaverte. I met Chris Villaverte when he was 16 years old. He was a street character at the Arizona Renaissance Festival. I think I was 19. I still talk to him. And he was a DJ on 93.3, the alternative radio station. And he's like, once you start becoming popular, they own you. Be ready for this. Dude, I need some sleep. Well, you need to be here for this baseball game, and you need to be level 10 excitement, and after a while, they just burn you out. That's why I can't believe that actor turned to drugs. Really? 6 months, 18 hours a day, and then you're only as good as your last work? You're surprised that they turn to drugs? Same thing with musicians, all that. Another mystery is first album is always amazing for every band. Well, yeah, he had like 10 years to work on it. The second album usually sucks, and the third album is usually awesome. Well, they were on the road all that time after the first album. You've got the leftovers from the first album that didn't make the cut, and whatever they could throw together while they were on the road before they had off time to get into the studio to do some serious work to make the third album. It's the same thing with the fourth album usually sucks, but the fifth album's good. 6, 7. It's odd for the music, but you don't know what it's going to be for movies. Because no matter how good your performance is, if the movie wasn't marketed right, or it was marketed to the wrong audience, or people didn't understand it or get the message, or maybe you as the supporting actor were fucking phenomenal in it, but everybody hates the main character, it's over, dude. You didn't do anything wrong. All you did was show up and read your lines spot on, mark on, spot, X, go, action, And you did all the best you could, and you still failed. Why didn't you do anything else? Because they wouldn't fucking cast me. Yeah. Oh, whatever happened to Eddie? He's the kid from Mockingbird Lane. Dude, Patrick, he wanted to do a lot of other stuff. Was he allowed to? No, because of Hollywood. You think Dolph Lundgren wanted to play muscle-bound idiots through the entire... No! He's got fucking PhDs and, chemicals, and he's more of a science guy than Bill Nye the Science Guy. I love the reality of things. Sorry, that always cracks me up. Thank you for coming along on that soapbox rant. Like and subscribe. 100% pure bar, folks. We love you.
Whee!
Yay! I know, we talked about the ampersand and for the days of the iguanas are awesome. And if you've never had an iguana, feed it a little bit of meat when it's young, but only feed it vegetables after that, because once they get big, they get up to 7 or 8 feet long, and their claws do damage when they climb, but that's incidental collateral damage. What you're really worried about is the tail, which is like a bullwhip when they get that big.
Yep.
And when they get that. Otherwise, it's kind of like having a scaly golden retriever that never barks. That kind of hisses and... when they get all pissed off, they make that noise. Other than that, cats are your biggest danger up until they get a certain size. I love iguanas and skinks. I really love reptiles, dinosaurs. I think they're really awesome. But cats are kind of in between. The more I've been around cats since 2005 on a daily basis, I'm seriously kind of thinking that the Anunnaki came back in disguise and helped the Egyptians make cats out of reptile mammals. Because they just have a lot of weird physical characteristics. Like fitting into any box, the way they're set up, the way their eyes are slits instead of pupils, like all...
Because they got house cats, domesticated cats, small cats are pissed off because they know genetically, they have a genetic memory. I used to be 300 pounds. I used to be able to run down a human being and kill him, drag him back to a beautiful cave, eat him. And now I have to deal with your ass.
I'm gonna get you. Oh, that's nice, right behind the ear. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I'll have some treats. Thank you very much. Oh, some catnip. Best day ever.
And then I'm going to turn on you.
Yeah. And even cats are... There was a series of... It was a series of books that I bought when Hannah... just before she was born, or just after she was born. And I read all of the books to both of the kids. And one of the most prolific books was called Rabbit's Habits. And it's about a mom rabbit who has 3 little boy rabbits. And she'll be like, clean your room. One of them will clean the room. One of them will pitch a fit. One of them will move so slowly that passive resist. So each command she gives, one of them does it, the other 2 fuck off. One of them does it, the other 2 fuck off. One of them, and that's not only child rearing, that's animal husbandry as well, because dogs and cats both do that. Like wet food, canned food. I have 8 cats. 7 of them devour voraciously the wet food. Saffy, no interest at all. Catnip, 7 of them voraciously devour it. Venus, no interest in it at all. Treats, 7 of them can vacuum the tradition, whatever they are. There's a whole bunch of different flavors. Luna really depends on her mood. Sometimes she's into it. Sometimes she's not. I don't really want the... Oh, are those the fish ones? Same thing with tuna, with tuna fish. I'll go to Costco. I'll get the big thing of tuna, actually albacore. And then there's the big argument with, oh, you're giving him mercury. It's like, I'm not giving it, excuse me, I'm not giving it to him every day. I'm giving it to him like once every 3 weeks. And then I always get the tuna in water. Not that I'm against tuna in oil, but it's just easier to deal with. It's easier to deal with tuna in water and get that oily consistency. I don't want to eat a coelacanth. I want to eat an albacore.
Right, I'm not making eel fish sandwiches. I'm making tuna fish sandwiches. Big difference.
I use the coelacanth because it's an ancient fish, and the reason it survived is it's so fantastically oily that predators humans don't eat it. Nobody eats this thing. They just leave it alone. That's why it's a dinosaur swimming around in the Indian Ocean. So I always get tuna in water, and I always pour the water into the bowl, add a couple chunks of tuna, and then add a whole bunch of purified water, and I leave that on the floor, and every single one of the cats will drink it. That's the only thing that across the board they'll all lap it up. 7 of them will eat the tuna. Stella will she wants the water, and she'll drink almost half the bowl, but she doesn't want the tuna.
Not interested in the rest of it. Yep.
Yeah. So it's I always call that rabbit's habits, where like all of them except for one will deal with this, and the one you've got to get whatever to satiate them. How you doing? It's almost 8:00.
It's getting there. With the work I did on the Jeep this afternoon, after getting done with work itself, it not bad. But yeah, I'm going to get ready to call it for the evening. I think we had a good show tonight. We got started a little bit late. Ed was able to join us for a bit.
I'll figure out what's going on.
That was wonderful.
Yeah, I'll figure out what's going on with Ed's camera. I'm glad he was able to join us. Because I made ceramic videos, and then he and I play in video games. But if we're going to do board games and role-playing games, he's definitely going to be involved. So he's a council member. He's just behind the scenes for now. There's a lot of council members that don't want to be in front of the camera. They've told me profusely, I don't want to be in front of you. Okay, tell me now that you don't want to be in my videos, so that I don't start making videos and then post it, and you're like, Jesus Christ, why am I on the... Whoa. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll take it down.
I did talk to Kathy and gave her the information, and she said she would talk with Chad.
Yeah.
And I think they may be interested in coming on. At least she said she thought Chad might at least be interested in coming on and talking gaming and tabletop and all the rest of that stuff.
Oh, Kathy's a geek. Don't let her fool you. She would, of course, be involved in all this. Like, she doesn't read books and watch television shows and movies and stuff. And she wasn't a gypsy dancer out at the Renaissance.
Well, I figure at some point in time, everybody's going to find their little niche and clip, and they're going to they're going to have something that they want to espouse upon. And by all means, let them go. Let them have fun.
No. I don't want to. I'm not being a dick about it.
No.
It's the same thing as youngest child and oh, that was my past. And I'm like, that was your past. It happened, and no amount of future can take your past away. It's still your past. It happened. You can learn from it. You can be ashamed of it, or you can move on and not worry about it, or be confused, or whatever your past is. There's always, unless you're a homicidal maniac and you killed a bunch of people, there's always room for improvement. Or you're some sociopath that I can't stop stealing from people. Well, then maybe bring back asylums now. Sorry, maybe you need to be put in a place where you can't manipulate people. All the same. Yay! Anyway. I don't know.
We need to,
I'm glad
we need to dip you in pork fat and leave you up in the ring country and see what crawls out from behind the tree.
Yeah. Do you know what I have? The Doctor Who box game. Mark Firestone gave it to me before he went to England, and a couple others. I think I have like Air Superiority, Panzer Blitz, because I was like, oh, I should sell these, and then after a while, it's like, I've had these since the early '90s. I should probably hold on to them. That's what's in the bookcase and I even have Traveler 2300. So the sad reality is, I always had Traveler. I was just too lazy and stupid to read the books and run it myself because I had no point of reference of what the game was like.
Yeah.
I wonder if we should make a trip over to Fork and Board, over to the gaming store up here on Bell Road and the I-17, 19th Avenue.
Yeah.
And just see what it looks like, because I took my son in there because he wanted to see what it was.
Yeah.
And they have one side that's nothing but games, and they're a big Games Workshop retailer. But they had a lot of other games and board games, and they have tables, and they have this huge gaming area that is set up for people to just come in and pick up games, ad hoc games. And then they had private rooms that you could rent. And I just like, that could be interesting to go do and see, and it might, who knows, maybe we'll find others who are looking for a pickup game of one of these, or somebody who's interested. Some of the younger generation, I heard about that. You guys are going to, yeah, we're all going to give it a try. It'll be our first time, and come on in.
I'm down for that. Imperial Outpost is down to selling chairs, and that makes me it always makes me sad because I've watched so many gaming stores come and go, and it's the same thing with comic book stores. There used to be so many different ones, and now they're all gone. And but it rises and falls. You've got with all of the stigma with superhero movies right now, it's on the decline because the market is oversaturated. So other venues are open to muscle in, whether it's comedy or cow westerns or whatever, gangster movies. But the superhero
opportunities will settle. Yeah. Well, and the other thing, the comic books that drove it have kind of seen a wax and wane of their own, and they're not the paper books don't seem to have the same cachet that they had just 10 years ago, just 5 years ago, because a lot of that material is becoming available through the computer.
Yeah.
And I remember when you could find a big air quotes comic book through a website, but usually it was a teaser.
Yeah.
And the idea was, I want you to see what I'm doing. This is the latest work. Or here's the first 3 pages. Here's the first 25 panels.
No.
So that you can see it and come out and pick up the book.
You're not wrong, because I was coming back from the ranch, and I'm gross, dude. I've been out there for like 5 or 6 hours in the sun, and this was not the last time, but the time before. I'm like, I'm just gonna go to this Circle K and get the Powerball was still building at that time, as the pick, which is the local Arizona lottery. So I'm in there, and I was like, food, no, I don't have enough money. Oh, I want to get something to drink. No, I don't really have enough money. And I'm just going to get gas and a pick. Or, it's like $3 for 2 of them. Oh, ouch. So I'm standing in line, and I turn to the right, and here it is, a cardboard kiosk with comic books. Paper. Comic books. So happy. And all of them were number ones, and it's like, fuck, I don't have enough money to buy all of these, because the rule of any collector, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter who published it, if it's number one, fucking buy it, because later you're going to be so upset. We laughed at fish police, adolescent, teenage black belt teenage hamsters, and teenage mutant ninja turtles. And had I just bought that one,
Yep. As a true collector, you always buy two number ones. One goes in a Mylar, and
One
one
you
you
read.
read
Yep.
so that you can see what it is. And then, and if you don't like it, you keep the one in a Mylar, and you go
Yeah.
and trade in the number one for the next one that you'd like to get, the next one you want to try.
Yeah. Well, it does, and they were all DC, and I'm not really a huge DC fan, but it was Batman and Nightwing and a bunch of Superman, Superboy. But I was focused on. I don't need to be rich and famous, but if I could get rid of the mortgage payment each month, that would save me tremendously to work on other projects.
Yep.
Because I was thinking about that. It's like, I scrambled to make this mortgage payment, but that's the cost of an engine and transmission on any of those heaps. If I could just get rid of the mortgage payment, we'd be way ahead on all those videos. So why don't you make more? Why don't you do more? Why don't you? Dude, I'm broke, and it takes me an hour to get out there, an hour to get back. I go out there with piss and vinegar, and then it's like, hey, can you help me do all these things? Which is, well, of course, yeah. You're not charging me rent. You're making me do favors to keep the stuff out there. Fuck yeah, let me drop what I'm doing and help you. But then after doing all that, it's like, oh, I'm old and in pain, and
I'm going to pop half a bottle of ibuprofen and sit in the truck.
I'm going to go home and use bourbon and marijuana to dull this pain. Because the thing I don't like about ibuprofen, because acetaminophen is illegal in most countries, not in America, but it's slowly killing us. But the thing I don't like about ibuprofen is it's almost like it does more damage. It gives you no swelling, so it frees up the ability to do more things. So like the next day you're like, oh my god. You make new noises that you didn't know you could make that would almost be sex noises if they weren't so painful.
Ibuprofen is the blacksmith's friend.
Oh God, yeah, but it's also a curse. It's a double-edged sword, really.
See, ibuprofen, if in a perfect world, I would have all the ibuprofen gel caps that I needed. My property would have a beautiful hot spring that I could go and sit in.
Yeah. Oh, that would help a lot. Or a deep tissue massage therapist, some dude with like a vice. Because that's the worst thing about massage envy. Because you go in there and you're like, hey, I need a deep tissue massage therapist. Oh, we don't have one. Okay, well, it's my shoulders. And you tell them, it's my shoulders, it's my back, it's my shoulders, it's my back. Okay, well, I'll have this tiny little woman come in and no, that's not really going to do. Is she going to use her elbow and like get a ladder and like drop on me to where the knot is? I mean, and the worst part is go ahead and get naked. I don't need to get naked. It's just my shoulder. Go ahead and get naked. I don't want to get naked. Why are you guys so focused on me getting naked? It's not a pretty picture. No one wants to see it. You can get under the blankets. That's the I'll take off my shirt. Just fix my shoulder and my back. That's all I need. What about the rest of you? We don't have enough money or time for that.
Okay, you don't know, you don't want to go there. Okay, think of it this way: have you ever read Dante's Inferno?
Yeah.
There's only so far you want to go before you get down to the depths of hell.
Ibuprofen is amazing, but it doesn't have the off and on switch that Excedrin migraine or acetaminophen, which is basically what Excedrin migraine is, has. Whereas this is dangerous but true. So you pay. Oh, I put the bottle back where it belongs. You get the big economy bottle for what, $20, $30 at Costco, 200 milligram ibuprofens. So you're taking like 4 or 5 of those, 800 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams. Now I can go do the work, but the next day I feel even worse. However, we're going to go to a dispensary The product is called OGs, not a sponsor, but fucking amazing. There's a lot of others, wild, and we're going to focus on the OGs because I got the blackberries and cream, $60 with the Med card, 1,000 milligrams. So each one of these little gummies is 100 milligrams of THC indica. Sativa is good for the day, keeps you up, keeps you running, keeps you moving. Indica's for at night when you want to fall asleep, but it's also a fantastically amazing muscle relaxer. Here's where addiction.
Yes.
Yeah, here's where addiction.
That's why I have to do the ibuprofen PMs.
Here's where the addiction comes in. Now I'm going to work, and this was when I was working at Dairy Queen, and I'm bringing this bag with me along with a couple of the disposable or the rechargeable, and I'm hitting these and I'm hitting those with the kids because I'm working with children, but they're all smoking in front of me. So when in Rome, not only that, I've been smoking longer than your parents. So it was cool, and they respect it. And I'm the one washing all the dishes and cleaning the floor and stay busy, and then you don't get in trouble. So the problem was that I was the bet $30, 20 something for a bottle of ibuprofen, or $60 for 1,000 milligrams of OGs, blackberries, and cream indica. So on one hand, it was healthier to switch to the indica because it's not really damaging my liver in a sense. It's a biodegradable cannabinoid. It's fat soluble. It's because that's the problem with painkillers is they really fuck up your kidneys and your liver. And in some instances, other like your stomach or your GI tract and all that. So you have to be careful. It's like the whole thing of chloroform to American people and probably to the gotta wash that down. Hold on a second. Chloroform is this fairy dust, really. You put the person's face on it and they pass out immediately. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
They have to breathe a lot, and there is a report. Going back to my first fiance a lot. She was wanting to be like Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs, or Will Graham. It's the character in Red Dragon, where you're basically dealing with the mass murderers, the serial killers, the super fucked up people in society. So she told me all about Ed Gein and all of that. And yeah. So the problem is that you're switching to that kind of almost predatory mode. It's great in a haunted house. Not good in modern society unless you're a deviant. Hence the name of the book about Ed Gein. Deviant! Boom! Tied that all together. Sorry. But yeah, we're getting late. We're almost...
Yeah.
Dude, like a minute and a half. And then we're at 3 hours. Serial killers. Yeah. I don't know how I segued to that, but we were talking about... No, I was, you can't blow all your money on marijuana, but you can blow a great deal of it on edibles, and they sneak up on you. And
my ex tried to blow all of my money on marijuana, and I couldn't be around it because of the jobs that I had.
Yeah.
So at the time, he could because of medical card and all the rest of that. And we were getting her. We were working on getting her full disability, all the rest of it. But he finally admitted when we got to the end that she had been spending $400 and $500 a month to buy the most expensive, most
Whoa,
potent stuff that she could, so that she could just literally blaze herself into oblivion.
dude, $40 a
And
week is like my, I buy some ground up stuff. I buy a little bit of flower buds, and then I'm good. If I had extra money, I'd buy edibles, but
she was not buying, to my knowledge, she was not buying edible. She was buying, weed to smoke. So she was buying it in bags. She was
gotcha.
buying pre-rolls. She was
$25
buying
gram
the most
infused.
potent stuff.
Yeah.
And she would hit it. I would come home from work, and she'd be out on the back patio.
Yeah.
And then at night, she'd be out on the back patio. And then I'd get up to go to work in the morning, and then I'd get a call from her after I'd been at work for a while, and she finally got up, and she was out on the back patio. I thought, okay, well,
Yeah, I smoke way more than Christine. Just like living together for all the time. But it's not a contest. I don't, you know, I I do drink, but I smoke a lot more than I drink, if that makes sense. Not that it justifies it. Drinking is bad. Okay, we introduced Ed. We talked about D&D. We talked about a lot of other stuff. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching this Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. We're going to do board games. We're going to do video games. We're going to do all that stuff. I put your 3 videos just on the Supreme Council, not on my own personal one, because I'm not in those videos, so that's not fit. Dude, that would be like stealing. They're your videos.
that's why I specifically said they were for you. Those videos were for you.
They may be for me, but I'm not in them. You can't take someone else's credit. That, and they're very
next time.
Yeah.
We'll do it next time. You will be in them as well.
You need to let me know what you are doing this weekend, because over 2,100 people looked at that 58 Chevy Frankenstein Will It Run with Pete and I and Bill. And I know Pete is, but once they get you out there, but he's dropping off a bunch of different trucks, and I think we can get a lot more views on that video for this channel, because I think that engine's going to pop off. Something tells me. I moved it. He's got like a ball peen hammer with like a chisel end on it, and it's all one solid piece of metal. And I went down there, and I was able to move the flywheel both directions.
If you can get the motor to spin, then and the camshaft is there. So the biggest thing is if the valves will open and close on more than half of the cylinders, you don't even have to have a good carburetor. I mean, you can spray gas in there with a spray bottle. If you can get spark, you can get fuel, and the motor will turn over. It will run. Good chance it won't run worth a shit.
Well,
but it will run.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is, in days gone by, that would have been the first test we would have done. Can I get it to run? Okay, all the internals are still functional. So now I can decide, is it worth me tearing it down to rebuild it because I want to drive it for another 50,000 miles? Or do I just need it to get around the ranch? And so I just need to be able to get it. It's a 6-cylinder. I need it to run on 4.5 cylinders, and I can do the things I need. That was the old farm way.
I started thinking seriously about not last episode, but the episode before, and you and Guy had a discussion about the 235 versus the 250. And if this 250 turns, we don't know what frame it's on, we don't know what chassis it's on, but it's got a lot of new parts. And Bill found out that it's got both bolting for the starter. There's two different ones. It has both of the holes. So it doesn't matter what kind of starter you put on it. He's got plenty of batteries running around it, and you heard it. I just want to, it's going to start. Oh, if it's going to start, it's going to run. But Pete doesn't give a crap about that engine. He's going to throw it away. Why don't we, like you said, why don't we use that for the council truck?
If it'll run and start and do all that stuff, then you figure out, is it running on all 6 cylinders? Great. How long will it run on all 6 cylinders? Well, that's a story to be told as we go along. So, at the very least, you've got a will it run series. You have learned now what Guy and I have been talking about. 5 wires and that motor can run.
Yeah.
Because you're just making a basic motor. You need power and ground to the coil. You need ground to the distributor. You need power and ground to the starter.
Yeah.
And it's going to run.
I think it will. I think it'll pop off. I mean, the 235 I've got here is a long way away, but this 250, it's a modern frame. It's got all disc brakes. The cab is fucked, but we don't need the cab. And if you seriously want to rebuild that cab, dude, I am down. Let's do it. Whether we restore it to full or whether we turn it into a weekend Wasteland Warrior Mad Max truck, either one's fine. But it's more stuff that we can not only make videos of, but hey, we can do this. We're not all just talk. We can actually make these things run, build them, modify them, all the other stuff. Because I had a long. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say it's fun. It's interesting. It can be done. Like I said when you took me out there before, and I looked at everything, and as you said, he kept saying, "Well, that's junk. That's junk. That's junk." Well, actually, you're looking at it from the cash value, the commodity value of it as a 58 Chevrolet cab. I'm looking at it as this is the baseline for what would have been something that Ed Roth would have looked at.
Yeah.
That all of these greats would have looked at and said, well, that cab's been cut up. That's right. So I'm not worried about it. I can pull that 58 cab and I can take the parts off of that 50 cab that nobody wants, and then I can mix them with some of the parts from that 79 cab over there that nobody wants, because they've all been cut and chopped and done. And if I put it here and I weld it here and I do it here, and in the old days, if I let it in, and now if I put putty on it, I can make it into something else. Like when I told him, take this cab, take that clapped out cab and that crapped out truck bed, cut them down because they don't have any use except to scrap, put them on this S10 Blazer chassis, and somebody's going to wet their pants when they see it because, oh my God, that's so cool.
That's half the
work. There you go. Yeah.
No,
$4,000 and it's yours because it starts and runs.
As soon as he talked to that guy, he's like, we're going to start doing trucks that are all put together. Dude, I've been saying this for years. So we've already got the parts for the council truck, and this is the engine. We can make a bed. We can make it a flat bed. Pete would rather have money, but I can work off what we need to accomplish. I really wanted to make a video on Sunday, but there was really no point to it because it was all just grunt work. Moving pallets, moving objects, moving, items, pulling full pallets. No wonder my shoulders are killing me. It wasn't video worthy. And then, of course, Amanda doesn't want to be in front of the camera. She wants to be behind the scenes. She's like, I'll hold the phone all you want, but I don't want to be. I'm like, that's cool. I respect that.
Some of those guys like Fab Rats and even Morsky, a lot of these guys will throw in every so often day in the life videos. Everything doesn't have to be, okay, today we're going to take this 454 Chevrolet Big Block We're going to throw a supercharger on it. We're going to put 8 carburetors on it. We're going to see if we can blow it up in the shop. Some of the best videos, some of the videos that these guys have the most fun with, and they get the most interaction, maybe not the most views, but the most responses, are the day in the life videos, where it's like, today, we're going to go, I got to move this over here. I got to take this and do that. I got to put this over here. I got to do this. And while you're doing it, you can talk about, that's the 62, and we've been working on that. He really wants to keep it. Now let's go over here and work on this, and we're doing this. Oh, yeah, that's the 75. So.
This is a 75. I don't want the tire. Go get the ball. Shiloh, move. Okay, this is the... God damn it. It's me yelling at dogs for 8 hours.
Those are the day in the life videos.
They really are.
Yeah, those are the ones that people are going to watch. And again, it's not going to be 25,000 views, but it's going to be 1,000 views or 2,000 views with comments. People are going to respond.
Yeah, the black and tan shepherd, Chino, the youngest dog. He is kind of a loner. He's only, now that he's getting older, he's starting to assimilate with the pack. But for the most time, this dog's kind of like a cat. He does his own thing. He doesn't... Sheba and Shiloh kind of hang out all day together. And then Sheba will get fed up with Shiloh because she's way smarter than he is. And then she'll go off, and Shiloh will... He's my shadow. He's under... In every video... He's there. Now, I'm not complaining. It's just that's his personality. He's a very subservient dog. Where Malachi, the husky, will come out and give me kisses, and we'll hug, and he'll talk, and he'll hang out for a while. He's getting older. He's almost 10. He's a husky. The larger breed dogs, the older they get, unfortunately, their bodies. So he kind of, and especially now, September, he wants to go back in the house. He does not want to hang out in 140 degree or 110 degree weather because he's, they're huskies. They got so many. So Chino is famous for biting people. And we were trying to figure out why he's bitten a bunch of different friends in the circle, but he's never bitten me. And he's like, well, it's because of the marijuana. I don't think that's it. Well, no, this person and this person, they smoke weed. Well, so do I, dude. I'm like a chimney or a reggae band. I'm an all day, every day. And the concentrates. That makes absolutely no sense that Chino would bite those people, but not me. Well, and then we talked about it for a while. So maybe it's other drugs or maybe it's a nervous behavior because for the longest time, he wouldn't come near me. And then all of a sudden, one day, I was allowed to pet him. And now it's no big deal. He comes right up to me, I pet him, and then he does his own thing. He'll come back.
But you know how to approach an animal as well.
After
you don't go in, right? You don't go in a nervous state, and you don't go in an aggressive state. You go in a mellow state.
I ignore it.
You move through. You're aware of him. Yes. You don't get in front of him. You don't get between him and where he's going. But you don't react. You don't react and you don't respond in a fearful or a frightened manner.
No.
And that is something that kind of a dog responds very quickly to, is the fact that, all right, this person is on an even keel. They're not concerned about me. They're not overly concerned one way or the other. They're not pushing themselves on me. And they're being respectful, pack respect of the area. So when the dog comes up, when the dog first came up to you, you didn't immediately reach down. You didn't do the rest of it. It was like, okay, dog's checking you out, or dog's looking from a distance. You don't reach out and go, oh, the dog's like, no.
Yeah. It's weird, too, the dynamic of the ranch pack. Because Malachi is the oldest, but he spends most of his time picking on Shiloh. Sheba is the bitch of the bunch, but she's a Belgian Malinois. So you're dealing with a whole higher level of intelligence than a poodle or a mutt or one of your other, like a boxer or a pit bull or a Newfoundland. These dogs are bred to constantly be doing physical labor. I've watched Sheba eat pallets to get to balls and rabbits and lizards and quail. I turns my stomach. I've watched this dog kill countless rodents, rabbits. Though there is a teaching thing. Judy's not feeling well because of the accident where she got pinned and the fucking metal door went over her foot. It was a bad scene, and she's got scabs and oh god, and she's got like one reinforced slipper and then one like orthotic boot, but it's not like a full boot, it's like a half boot. So can you help me? Absolutely. What do you need me to do? We need to drain the pool. Fuck. Okay, yes, I'll do that. First thing we need to do is pull out the plug. We've got to get the channel locks. One, I don't like touching friends' tools, especially when they're not around. Two, I have no fucking clue where Pete keeps his channel locks. I get up to the this pool is huge. You could bathe a goat or a large sheep or a small horse in this plastic pool. Oh, the plug's already been taken out. Oh God, hallelujah. One less thing. Okay, this like takes 20 minutes off of the day. So now I'm just muscling it up and putting blocks underneath it and stacking blocks on the blocks to get the rest of the residual green water and mud, because the dogs run around in the yard, jump in the pool, run around in the yard, jump in the pool, run around in the yard. I get the pool up and I empty the whole thing. Getting stronger. Awesome. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, on the ground, corner of the right eye, movement. What? Oh, shit. Monsoon toad. Sonoran toad. Sonoran toads usually cover themselves in a mucus embryo of water, and they stay under the ground for a couple of years until a real big monsoon comes. And then they come to the surface and they mate, but the noise they make sounds like children or cats in peril or injured. The problem is they're poisonous. Like, seriously, poisonous. So, all of the dogs they've been living there, this is their home. So they have a history with these toads. So I'm trying to hold up the pool, and all of a sudden Sheba, she is the best hunter out of the four, sees the movement, zeroes in on the toad, lightning bolts, rockets over to the toad, and I'm like, oh no, oh my shoulders, oh my god, no. Sheba gets to it, smells it, realizes what it is, and is like, oh, fuck, no.
Yeah,
no.
nope, not interested.
No. And because she does that, the rest of the dogs are watching her, and they're like, oh, okay. Which, this is a unseen brilliance of dogs where she literally told the rest of them, poisonous amphibian, without making a sound, because she ran right up to it. Sheba kills everything, and Sheba barks at birds when they fly over the, like buzzards and hawks. She just loses her shit and starts barking at these birds for flying over a 4-acre property. She's intense. She loves me. I don't have any problem with it. But that's the level of intensity. So for her to run up to this toad, realize what it is, and then run away. And I'm like, later I told Judy, I'm like, there's a toad over there, but I don't have a shovel or anything to kill it with. And I'm trying to keep them away from it. But Sheba figured out what it was, and I'm trying to empty the pool. She's like, oh, okay. As long as they didn't eat it. I'm like, you'll probably find it and kill it later, but no. And sure enough, there was this, burrows, basically, underneath the pool where the toads had burrowed underneath, and they would have made
Yeah.
that their year-long house until the next month.
So
So,
there was moisture. Right. There was moisture and it was right.
yep.
Well, sir, I'm going to call it.
Oh, geez, I forgot.
You have
I'm
a
sorry.
good evening.
Thank you very
And
much.
we will figure this whole thing out and make it happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for watching. You could have watched anybody, but you decided to watch us. The Supreme Council, the Master Geeks Lodge. And we'll see you next week. Stay geeky.
Hurrah!
Huzzah. You have a good night, sir. Thank you very much.
You too.